It's been one of them that has taken so many weird twists. We've had overtime games, but it's never been short of a yardage scoring fest, has it not?
Yeah, I mean, these games have really been high scoring, a lot of offense. The one thing that I would say is Cedar Cliff just seems to just play them McDevitt very well. And sometimes you get that. You get matchups where a matchup is just a good matchup. So today you're going to want to see some good fireworks here and look for, I mean, I don't see any way around it. It could potentially be another close game between these two teams.
Well, Hopkins and Tinker will be back to receive. Start this game here at West Shore Stadium, one of our favorite places to come to watch football. It's always beautiful here, especially in this fall, almost fall weather coming here. A little warm tonight.
It was more summer.
It was summer, as we said. It started, just 50 degrees last night. The changing climate of Pennsylvania tonight. Give it 86 with some high humidity as game time starts. You always got to watch the cramping there, and we're underway here tonight at West Shore Stadium. And Tinker will be taking it right side. Tinker breaking a tackle, crossing over the 25-yard line, make it the 27-yard line, and that is where Bishop McDevitt will have the ball. And it was a game-time decision. Let's go down to Archie Smith Jr. on the field. Archie, I know game-time decision where Powell would start or not. This week he had been walking in a boot a little bit. We want to know what you see coming out right away. But we'll check back in with Archie. Jerome, I know you were looking at that and going to keep.
Yeah, and it looks like it'll be Powell to start off. And like Archie said in the pregame, game-time decision. And we're going to want to keep an eye on him, his mobility and his ability to just play the quarterback position.
Powell gives not much there. On the carry on the left side was Tinker. And I think he'll lose one, make it to be 2nd down and 11 for Bishop McDevitt.
And you see that Cedar Cliff front four and those linebackers filling the gaps. Really sound defense against the run. And we'll see what McDevitt can do. Can they get into the air and get the ball into the athletes?
Powell slinging it. He had a great game last week. It's going to be incomplete to Tinker down the sideline. That's actually Hopkins on the sideline. He was split wide. Tinker will miss him long, but the ball looked good. Threw a good ball there, Jerome.
He did, but again, a good ball means nothing if it doesn't get to the receiver, and that was an overthrow. That again, when you're injured, if you're a quarterback that has problems with the legs or something's going on, you may not be able to step into a throw or maybe try to overcompensate for that injury and throws it deep on the play.
It appears that McDevitt's going to move on that left side. That was obvious movement. That's going to move them back. And they're going backwards in this early drive, their first drive here tonight.
And one of the things that has been characteristic of Bishop McDevitt over the years have been explosive plays.
Right.
The ability to get downfield very quickly, and that's going to be something that we're going to see. The one area that we saw against these two teams when they played each other was Cedar Cliff was able to match the explosive plays of Bishop McDevitt, which kept them not only in the game, but it was able to have them go blow for blow with Bishop McDevitt in the past.
3rd and 16. Ball was on the 20-yard line. We're going to set up the screen on that side. It's going to be intercepted. Cross the 5 in the end zone. Touchdown. Cedar Cliff's going to get on the board. It was a dangerous pass. The screen just seemed like it was going to develop, and I don't think it was intended for Tinker. I don't think he saw it at all. And that is
Pedro Cintron able to come up with that play. I mean, that just was an amazing defensive effort there. But again, one thing that you said, the pass was ill-advised. Screen plays, you cannot lob the ball up like that. It's anybody's ball at that point.
You said it right there, and I was just gonna comment on that. It was a soft lob, and I don't think the setup was there, but I don't think the back looked back to see where the ball was.
And again, I don't even know if the setup was there. It just looked so poorly put together from the jump. So now you have McDevitt who goes down early in a big game.
Well, the kick is good, and that's an early score, 7-0. We'll be back with more from West Shore Stadium after these messages.
You just went. Here's the deal. Road trips can get pricey. At rest stops alone, there's lunch, snacks, gas. So instead, I go to Giant and get bonus buy savings on everything we need to stay on the road.
I forgot my retainer.
If we ever leave.
Everything you need at prices you'll love. Only at Giant. Our brand boneless, skinless chicken breasts. This week, $1.69 per pound.
Well, welcome back to West Shore Stadium. And that was a quick score by Pedro Cintron actually took the screen, the lob screen from the 21-yard line, 21 in, and 20-yard return, and that was it. That's how an early 7-0 lead, and it really kind of woke up the West Shore Stadium here. Tinker's going to take the ball across the 15, the 20. Going to cut back left side. We'll have a block and be taken down from the backside. Good special teams coverage on the play.
Yeah, and again, we don't see Bishop McDevitt, being down this early from mistakes. So again, you can't take away from how an injury can affect a quarterback, regardless if it's a shoulder, if it's a finger, if it's a leg injury somehow, some way. Sometimes that affects the productivity of a quarterback because they could be overcompensating for that injury, or that injury has some effect even if it's still healing now. So again, we got to keep an eye on that quarterback position, and we'll see McDevitt. They're making a change right now, going to number 10. Faye Oleyu will be taking over.
Oleyu will hand off to Tinker on the right side. And not much there. I mean, you know what? They're stacking that box a little bit, Jerome. And I mean, they're anticipating the run. It looks like tonight that the Colts are going to say one thing, and that is you're going to have to throw the top to beat us tonight. You're not going to run the ball against it.
Again, that defense is stout. I mean, you look at the size, and you see a clash of the Titans. There's a big offensive line against a big defensive line going at each other.
Faye going to run left side, put his head down, and Pedro Cintron will actually come up to make the tackle, and it'll be 3rd and 9, and he's all over the field right now. Let's go down to Archie Smith Jr. on the field. Archie, that last screen setup just kind of ball lobbed high, and then it just didn't look good from the start.
Well, guys, what you have is, by standing down here, it looked like one of the defensive linemen grabbed the running back, and Jerome can attest for this. The defensive linemen are taught in the nowadays screen game to take out the running back. So I think the running back wasn't there to give him the pass option, and it was a lob pass that's turned into a pick, guys.
Okay. 3rd and 12. And the pass is connected, and that's exactly what they're going to need to get going for sure.
Oleyu stepped in, and there you saw he stepped into the throw. He is a senior, so even though he may have gotten beaten out for the starting position, he is a senior, and you saw the poised senior step up in the pocket and deliver a strike down the middle of the field, picking apart that zone from Cedar Cliff.
He went to his favorite receiver, Omari Hopkins. We got twin split to right, single receiver left. Williams will get the ball on the left side. Marquise Williams. He is a freshman, so keep your eye on him. Williams talked about a lot, had a big game last week and a big blowout of Redland. And Williams is a guy that kind of been mentioned like, hey, came onto the scene, a freshman, we're going to play him right away.
And again, I mean, what you're seeing from Bishop McDevitt is their ability to reload every year, and sometimes it takes a little bit more time to get guys comfortable. This team will be very different later in the season, as we've always seen.
Give to Williams, and there's not much there. Williams coming up to make that initial hit, number 32. I thought it was a great hit out of Akita, Elijah Akita, 210-pound junior.
And again, that defense, basically Cedar Cliff is saying, you're not going to run the ball on us today. They're going to shut down those lanes and force Faye Oleyu to throw the ball. They want him to throw the ball, and he has to prove that he can throw it consistently all game long for Bishop McDevitt.
Back to pass with time. Faye over the top, connects, floats the ball a little bit, but it is caught in a big gain for Bishop McDevitt.
And that's Foster Camille comes up with the big catch. And again, when we see Oleyu fade back to pass, he's a tall quarterback. He's standing in the pocket. He's delivering a strike downfield. And for the second time, you saw a Bishop McDevitt receiver wide open in the middle of the field.
Ball spotted on the 31-yard line, 1st and 10 for McDevitt. With time. Vallejo down the sideline. It's going to be caught. It's going to be a touchdown. And we might see this all night, back and forth, these two teams. That's exactly what they do. Hopkins on their reception for a touchdown, and McDevitt right back at you with 7:29 to play, and they're on the board.
I'll tell you what, Todd, I am thoroughly impressed with this quarterback, Vallejo. I mean, he is 6'2", standing in the pocket, and he's throwing strikes. You take that pick away, and he has just been 100% down the field, throwing strikes downfield, hitting guys in stride. He's really putting on a show in the clinic right now.
And that's up and good. It'll be tied 7-7. We'll have more. Take a look at this 31-yard touchdown to Hopkins.
This is an education that focuses on your child's unique interests. It's taking field trips and making friendships. And it's what a modern-day public K-12 education looks like. This is Commonwealth Charter Academy, and this is how schools should work. CCA is an online public school available at no cost to all Pennsylvania families. Learn how Commonwealth Charter Academy can work for your family at ccaeducate.me.
Aluye to Williams for 31 yards, and that's going to be a nice hookup for Bishop McDevitt.
And again, he's been playing very well. And again, when you see a quarterback, he is a senior, so that's the one thing about him. He's, many times when you get a senior that may have been beaten out by an underclassman, that senior has a poise about him, even though the talent may not be there. But what we're seeing is the talent that Aluya has, he's showing down the field.
Well, he's going to get his opportunity in that first drive that he really got going. It looked great. You said it very well. Poise was one of the biggest things you said too, Jerome, coming in this game as a senior. What type of poise he'll have. He should have that senior leadership poise, and that's what we saw out of Aluya.
And his offensive line has done very well.
They gave him a lot of time.
And if Cedar Cliff, and this has been a problem for Cedar Cliff over the years when we've watched them, their inability to get pressure on the quarterback. And that's why they've allowed Bishop McDevitt to score so high in games, because they cannot sack the quarterback. So they may have to come up with some creative ways to get after the quarterback.
Quarterback is Gannon McMeans. Morris is the lone back. Jaheim Morris will get the ball, and he'll fight to get across the 20-yard line. Coming up to make the tackles, Julian Bakos for Bishop McDevitt.
And for all the success that Cedar Cliff has had on the ground, you're going to see them try to establish the line of scrimmage against Bishop McDevitt in the run game. Now, Bishop McDevitt's front is very big. They're hard to move, and then they have that linebacker patrolling back there, number 33. And we know that linebacker core can be very, very vicious.
Running really hard on that left side is Morris. North and south squaring his shoulders, running hard, looking very effective. He picked up 4 on the play. It'll be third down. He took it directly. It's a direct snap to him, kind of wildcat looking. 6:30 here to play in the first quarter. This game, as we said earlier, the last 4 matchups have been separated by only 7 points, with Cedar Cliff winning the last 2. They're going to go to Morris again. Morris direct snap, left side.
And I don't think he got it there. And again, we talk about Bishop McDevitt. Look at number 44, Devin Clare, in the middle. He's already at 6'1", 230 pounds, college-sized linebacker. We don't see as much the days of the 260, 255-pound linebackers. You see those stout 6'1", 6'2", 230, 225 that can move. And look at him in the middle of that defense, coming up and trying to make plays to shut that run game down.
So it's 4th and 1.
And this is an interesting call on a 4th and 1
really
on your own 25.
Gannon McMeans is going to push left side.
I don't know.
That's going to be real tough. I don't know either. Let's go down to Archie Smith Jr. Archie, where you're at, your vantage point, did he get it?
Guys, it depends on the spot. You got 2 referees spotting the ball, but it comes to look at it, I think that it should be a measurement. This is real close, guys.
It looks really, really close. But I'm going to guess that this is short. So let's see from my angle. This looks short to me.
Up high, I thought that McMeans did what he needed necessary to go off that tackle.
To me, that pile didn't move. It didn't seem like it moved at all.
Well, when I looked at it, I tell you what I thought I saw, Jerome. I thought he got under that pile that we didn't see, and that's sometimes that does.
He's
short.
short.
He's way
He's
short.
short. And like I said, to me, it didn't seem like the pile moved at all. And when you have a quarterback sneak situation, you got to win the snap count. That means that your offensive line, when the ball is snapped, they have to fire off the ball and get low because they can't give the defense leverage. If the defense wins the battle or gets lower than the offense in those times, you have an opportunity to shut that play down. And you should have it because a quarterback usually will pick a side and just run or dive to that side and should be able to get it. And in this case, not necessarily happening for Cedar Cliff.
Well, McDevitt will have the ball on the 26-yard line, 1st and 10. I don't know if that's the group I want to give the ball back to right now, especially.
Well, we have Powell back in the game at quarterback, too.
Quick pitch to Tinker. Tinker went right side, not much. He looked like he tried to stretch it out, but it was coverage, good coverage on that play.
And I think the coaching staff, they want to get Powell back in the game because Powell was the one that threw the interception on the first drive. So they want to get him back in the game. He's apparently healthy enough to play, and they want to get him in rhythm and get that bad taste out of his mouth so that he can see if he can move this offense similar to the way it was moved with Alea and how he did it.
Alea just looked very effective in that drive. Shotgun formation. Twins right, single receivers left him. And to give Tinker right side, they're going to give him plenty of carries tonight. He's touched it 5 times already. He'll pick up 3. It'll be 3rd and 7. The ball's now spotted on the 23-yard line of Cedar Cliff. McDevitt getting an opportunity here to knock on the door in the red zone.
And Kevin Lusk came up and made a big play from his defensive position. And again, this Cedar Cliff, this team is going to be very hard to run on, but passing the ball, they have to get pressure on the quarterback for Bishop McDevitt.
Powell delivers high for Connor. Connor spins around, and Bryce Connor got hit pretty hard in the back. I'll take a look at it again here.
And so that was just good swarming defense. Sometimes you're going to give up some underneath short stuff, but you have to come up as a unit, 4 guys, 5 guys, 6 guys, hats on the ball, and Lusk again on the tackle from his linebacker.
Kevin Lusk got to unload on him a little bit.
He did.
He was spinning, and Lusk was coming full speed. What a hit. 4th and 8. McDevitt. Powell is going to step up in the pocket. He'll be taken down and sacked. Just good defensive effort out of Cedar Cliff. Albert Rosado come up to make the tackle.
And that's what they needed. They were able to get a rush. You got big Rosado coming in at 5'11", 225. I'm sorry, he looks bigger than that. He looks a lot more stout than that, but he gets low, coming off the edge, able to come up and make a play. And that's what Cedar Cliff needs. They need pressure on the quarterback in order to control this game.
Yeah, he beat the offensive line single-handedly. He's physical, got after it, ate that play up. 1st and 10 now for the Colts. McMeans connects to Reynolds. That's Shaheem Reynolds.
And sometimes, Todd, we talk about how the running game sets up the pass play. What can happen in reverse, too? One of the things, if you can get those short passes and they turn into first downs, those linebackers will begin to think about getting their depth as opposed to stopping the run, and then you can open up the run game.
And Reynolds made someone miss, and that was the difference in making that play, that yards after the catch. 1st and 10 on ball on the 40 for Cedar Cliff. Means gives to Morris. And Morris not much there.
And I think we have both run defenses that are pretty stout today, very big, both sides of the ball. And I'm always impressed with the size of these two clubs. When they play each other, you always see good size back and forth between them. You know, Cedar Cliff is always big. Bishop McDevitt's always big. And again, that clash of the Titans in the trenches.
Wins over the right and a single receiver far left for the Colts. McMeans had the dump off, looks down the field, almost picked off, incomplete. His intended receiver was Reynolds. Great defense. Coming up to making a great play was Jahai Cooper.
Well, I'll tell you what, Todd and Archie, anytime a quarterback does a jump pass, to me, that there is a very low percentage that that pass is going to be an effective pass play. So he threw a jump pass into double coverage that could have been
double
like you
coverage
said,
on a slant. Jump pass to double coverage in the slant.
You know, that's a bad combination most of the time.
So it'll be 3rd and 10, ball on the 40. He's got 3 trips split to the right and a single receiver far left, 2:14 to play here. Bad snap, it's going to roll. He's going to have to jump on it. It means has to make a heads-up play and get on it. And that'll bring 4th down. It should be punting for Cedar Cliff.
And again, those things are very frustrating for offenses, especially when you have something going and then all of a sudden you get a bad snap or a snap that a quarterback can't handle. And in this case, it stops the drive.
So Reynolds will be set to punt. Jaheim Reynolds. Jordan will be back to receive the punt. Tinker's punt, or excuse me, Reynolds' punt takes a roll. A real good roll for Cedar Cliff, and it'll be spotted down at about the 28-yard line. Make it 27. It'll be 1st and 10 for McDevitt with 1:23 here to play in the first quarter. Let's go down to Archie. Archie, your analysis on defense is now getting a little tighter now.
Defensive battle. McDevitt is really good. As you can see, they are challenging Cedar Cliff. They have no safety help over top. It is man on man right here, and they're challenging these guys to beat me at the line, make a play on me. As you can see, McDevitt is playing real aggressive. They're jumping every route. So this play is going to come down to the defense and who offense can score, guys.
Aluye now in the game. They're splitting off possessions. Aluye on a quick pitch. And it's not happening. Cedar Cliff's going to come up and make a great defensive effort. Now it's Kevin Lusk making the tackle.
Along with Akita, number 32 was the initial player to get there from Cedar Cliff. And again, that's the one thing. They are tackling well. Akita comes up and then you just see Lusk comes in and it finishes it off. But just good swarming defense from this Cedar Cliff team.
2nd and 12. You held on to it, and look who intercepts it again. He's got a 2nd pick of the night, Pedro Cintron.
And that was a pressure sack or a pressure turnover. The defense was able to get home to the quarterback, and you see when that happens, Alea just puts the ball in the air. You see the pressure come almost immediately, and that's number 32, Akita, again on the play, and he comes in right in the face of Alea, and he can't do anything about it. He puts it up, pick. That is a sack or a turnover from an interception, and that's what we saw.
From my point of view, guys, it looked like it was another screen.
I think, Archie, I think you're right. The screen on that right side just didn't get set up. They've blown that play up twice. It's a direct snap. Reynolds crossed the 15-yard line, and they're going to be knocking on the door again. Morris, Jaheim Morris, 1st down. They're direct snapping to him, Archie.
He's coming off of 200-plus yards rushing last week, so you definitely want to feed him early. That Wildcat look right now is giving a different look to this very aggressive McDevitt defense.
Look at those 2 defensive tackles for Bishop McDevitt inside. I mean, that's a lot of beef to move up front, and it's hard sledding.
Reynolds going to just be the workhorse tonight. Crossing the 10-yard line, 15. Ball be spotted at the 14. That's going to end the first quarter. Game's going to be knotted up tie to tie one more time here. Reynolds getting the share of all the carries here tonight.
My father years ago told me, own your own business. That was my inspiration. And February 1st of 1996, we opened up as Capital Region Insurance Agency.
Throughout my entire life, seeing my dad how successful he was and learning the way he was actually able to communicate with people and help them, whatever their needs may be, it made me want to get more involved. I'm most proud of helping continue my dad's legacy, helping the surrounding communities, businesses, and families.
We try to wow our customers, let them know that we are here for them. If they can't get into our office, we would take the time and go visit them. This really differentiates ourselves from the 1-800 who do you get? Whether it's financial services, auto, home, life, commercial, we hold their hands, bring them through the process. We let them understand that we know what we're doing and they feel comfortable when they leave here.
I think it makes it more personal and more family-oriented, definitely more of a friendly environment.
What I'm most proud of is the hard work, and it's enabled me to ensure clients, to provide protection for them, to let them sleep well at night.
Welcome back. 12 minutes to play to be 2nd and 8 for Cedar Cliff with the ball on the 14-yard line. 7-7 all knotted up here at the start of the second quarter. Turnovers already. McDevitt, 2 interceptions. Each quarterback, Oluya has one, as well as Powell. Both on what we thought were attempted screens, and the same guy intercepted both, and that was Pedro Cintron for Cedar Cliff. Morris carried, stopped at the front of the line, and coming up to make the tackle was Julian Bakos.
Yeah, Bakos he filled immediately. There was nothing Morris can do on this one. As soon as he gets the ball, I mean, you're talking about Bakos just comes crashing down from the left side and able to shut the door on that running play.
It's 3rd down and 10, and Cedar Cliff is 0 for 2 on 3rd downs. Let's see what they have in store here. 11:27 to play. Twins over to the right. Morris is that lone back. Quick outside pitch. Gombola, the receiver, Ashton Gombola.
And that was just a pass, a straight pass, a swing pass, and it's a fumble, and it looks like Bishop McDevitt will pick it up. So again, well defense by Bishop McDevitt, and that's what you want to do.
Take a look at
this. Get the ball. So it's basically a rollout pass, and it's caught, and this was the cleanup right there.
Was he? I think he was on the ground though.
But hey, it's already called. You know, we don't have replay here in the high school ranks.
Well, we do, and I'm telling you, he's on the ground. He's going to spin. Is it going to come out before he hits the ground?
Still up. Boom. Yep.
Oh, it's out.
So that's out.
It's definitely.
So replay would have kept that play.
The play stands as called on the field.
It would stand.
Powell outside, dumps it off. That was to Bryce Connor. Excuse me. Picked up about 2.
And that was Easterly on the reception.
That's Easterly, yes. 2nd and 9, ball on the 15-yard line.
Easterly has some really good size at 6 foot, 175 pounds, and he's only a sophomore. So you see a lot of youth on this McDevitt team trying to grow up fast and try to be productive in this system that has produced so many great athletes here at Bishop McDevitt.
Powell. Looking back, what time? Throws a dart to Foster. Camille Foster, sophomore. And that's going to move the chains for Bishop McDevitt, keeping this drive alive.
And what you see from Bishop McDevitt's passing game is a lot of timing. I mean, it's one of those where quarterback gets a 5-step drop and the ball should be coming out. And if you're Cedar Cliff, you have to find a way, and you did it early, of how you can get pressure on these quarterbacks to throw off the timing. And you've done it at times. You can have to do it consistently throughout this game.
But we got a nice crowd here, as you saw in West Shore Stadium tonight. 10 minutes to play, 1st and 10, ball on the 28-yard line. Going to go against Devitt. Some early movement, false start.
And up to this
point,
that was
delay of the game. I thought there was early movement.
There hasn't been many penalties or fouls on either team, so it's been a pretty clean game. So again, the team that makes mistakes, those are the ones that are going to hurt them possibly at the end of the game.
Well, Williams is going to get the ball left side. Marquise.
And I'll tell you, Williams, you know, I really like what I'm seeing from this young kid, a 9th grader. He's small, 5'10", 170 pounds, but he's real shifty and quick. And again, it'll be interesting to see what he looks like in 3 years. Because, you know, they're going to get him into the program, get him into the weight room, and he'll probably end up being closer to 200 pounds and see what he has if he can avoid injury.
I like the way he runs. He squares his shoulders, runs hard. He's finding the open hole. He's doing the little things. He's running hard. 2nd and 7, ball on the 31-yard line for the Crusaders. Single receivers and doubles on that left. He's looking that way. Powell the whole way. Wide open down the sideline is his favorite receiver. Across the 20, down to the 10, 8 make it, and that is Hopkins. He loves to hit Hopkins. He and Oluye hit him a lot. That is their favorite receiver on that Crusader side.
Well, Hopkins just right off the bat just gets deep. And I'm not sure, and Archie can see this, if it was a zone where the corner kind of got froze and maybe thought he had help over top, and the safety just did not get there in time, and then you have a big play.
Totally agree, guys. And you can see a cornerback is thinking that the pressure is going to get there. So if you're covering so long and you take that one look back, the ball will be thrown over your head, guys.
Powell avoiding the pressure, and he fumbles the ball. It's on the ground, and it looks like McDevitt will recover, but wow, he didn't put the ball away. Archie, I don't know if you noticed that, but he had that ball kind of just lingering out in his hand there, and it got knocked out, and Cedar Cliff gets it.
Guys, from my point of view, it looked like he was trying to shovel the ball off. Like, if you guys can look at this on a replay and see, was it a receiver or a running back in front of him? It looked like he was trying to shovel the ball off in front of him. So, like you say, with no replay, that could be a forward pass. You guys take a look at it and let me know.
All right, yeah, we just saw it, and it does look like there was just a mishandling of the ball. Okay. I think what happened was Powell may have been setting up to try to shovel pass it, but he never got a chance to complete it. As soon as he went to flip hands to avoid the defender, and it popped off his knee and then popped up in the air. So it was a fumble.
And another takeover for Cedar Cliff. That's 3 turnovers for McDevitt, and Powell had just connected to Hopkins for 61 yards prior to that, setting themselves up nicely in the red zone in a fumble. That's those things that come back to haunt you. In his 3 possessions, 2 of them are resorted into turnovers and a punt.
And just that last play, Jaheim Morris, number 31, meet number 44, Devin Clare in the hole. And I tell you what, Clare, like I said already, is already Division I size. I mean, he's already there. And you saw him fill right there, downhill from the linebacker position, number 44. Keep an eye on him.
Yeah, Devin Clare is definitely you highlighted him tonight for a great reason, Jerome. Morris, boy, we're getting very stingy defensively here now. Coming up to make the tackle is George Herron, Jamani George Herron.
Yeah, I have to say these defenses are doing pretty good. You take away those big plays that were giving up, those 2 big plays for Cedar Cliff, they've held on pretty well defensively. But again, this Bishop McDevitt team is just stout, especially against the run. Both of them are. You running on these teams it's going to be very difficult to run. Yeah, you got to figure out other ways to run to get some yards on the ground, because right now neither defense is yielding in the run game.
You got Bakos and George Huron and Morgan and Hughes and Piper and Blackstone, Claire Esserly, Jordan, Marsico, and Cooper on that defensive side, and they're coming up with pressure backside. He stayed incomplete, looking down the sideline, intended to hook up with Reynolds, and it was incomplete. It'll be 4th and 8. That's going to bring on the punting team for the Colts.
Right. And I'll tell you what, I mean, we've seen so many fireworks between these 2 teams over the years, and maybe we were due for a defensive slugfest a little bit, because that's what we've seen right now so far is a defensive slugfest.
Jerome, I totally agree with you. As you can see, it's like flip-flop. Cedar Cliff fumble in the red zone. Now McDevitt fumbles in the red zone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that punt did not go. Well, they got a little bit lucky, Tron. That's the best thing. I thought it was going to go straight up in the air and go maybe 10 yards.
I'll tell you what, in the games that we have covered this year, this is the one area that I have to say has been probably one of the more disappointing years is the punting position. We've seen some really difficult punts that have happened across the league. A matter of fact, across the region, because we call different league games where the punting game is not up to par with the rest of football, and it's such a weapon. I mean,
it can be,
the punt team punt return is such a weapon, and you're not seeing it used, especially the punting game with these punters. So developing these punters has to be a big thing for all these schools, because that can be a weapon for your team.
Ooh, yeah. Down the field, down the middle, and it's going to be complete. He throws it up in double coverage, and it's complete. He kind of took a chance.
Was that a beautiful reception?
He hits his sophomore, Camille Foster, on the hookup.
And Foster looked like he was 6'5" on that play. I mean, you see a beautiful pass play by Bishop McDevitt. And Aluye, when he steps up into the pocket, boy, does he throw a beautiful ball.
He really does.
His accuracy is really impressive for this this senior.
I feel like right now he has the better timing, and he just seems to understand his receiving core a little more, and it looks effective tonight. Give to Tinker. Tinker, left side.
I think he may have the bigger of the two arms, but again, we did see, we saw Powell connect on a deep ball that was 62 yards too. So I think both of them have had success going deep. I think we've seen more success from Aluye. He's been able to get downfield a little bit better. And again, that height that he has, that size, that cannon he has, and if there's no pressure from Cedar Cliff, it makes it difficult for them to get home and get pressure.
Well, Aluye is trading off possessions with Powell. Fade back to pass, drops off, and it's incomplete, overthrown. Julian Jordan was his intended receiver. It'll be 3rd down and 8 from the 8.
And one of the things you talked about, Todd, that's very important to highlight again is the heat. This is a really warm day, a warm September day. We had some really cool temperatures, some really nice fall weather at the beginning of the week. And the end of the week, it creeped back up close to 90 again, and we feel that tonight. This is a warm day. So, again, watch how these kids, how they are in the third quarter, late in the third quarter, and you may start to see cramping again from some of them. So keep an eye on that.
Look at Amari Hopkins' numbers tonight. 3 catches for 121 and a touchdown. The pass is complete, and they're running him out of bounds across the 8-yard line. That is Bryce Connor, the senior, on the catch.
And it looks like, I believe that should be a first down, or is it? It'll be 4th down, so it's 4th down. So we'll see what Bishop McDevitt will do here. I mean, I'm thinking they'll go for it. Oh, they're going to kick, or they're going to make it appear that they're going to kick. Who knows what happens in these situations nowadays?
Bryce Connor will be set for the kick. The hold has been Marstico, and it's up, and it's good. And that's going to put McDevitt on the board, 10-7. We'll take a break, be back after these messages. Welcome back to West Shore Stadium. Bryce Connor puts the Colts up 10-7 on a 15-yard, make it 23-yard field goal.
And again, as we can see right now, Todd, points are going to be hard to come by. So, hey, if you have an opportunity and you have a kicker, get 3 points on the board. Those 3 points, can be huge coming down the end of the game, especially with this series and how they've, winners have only won by a couple of points here and there each year.
So Connor will be set to kick. That was 5 plays, 32 yards. Took about 2 minutes and 9 seconds to put at least 3 points on the board. They came away, and now they have the lead, McDevitt. So that was Reynolds We'll move the ball across the 36 for Cedar Cliff. Will they have the ball?
Well, let's see if Cedar Cliff can get some continuity on this offense, because they really haven't been able to get any real traction offensively. And since, McDevitt has been able to put up yardage, but they haven't actually been able to finish a lot, so that's why the game is so close. So, you have the defensive touchdown by Cedar Cliff that happened on the first drive of McDevitt's. So let's see if they can get in the rhythm. The running game, again, as we know, is going to be hard sledding, but you can't abandon it either.
McMeans going to dump off to Reynolds. Ooh, a little dangerous, kind of flung it out there. And Reynolds is going down the sideline. He broke a tackle, crossed the 50-yard line, making something out of what appeared to be nothing. And Archie, I believe at one point I thought that ball might almost be picked off.
Well, you can see, guys, that this play has been going over through the practice of the week, and McDevitt was ready for what they seen. He had the play right there, but with an elusive running back like that, if you do not make that play, you get a big yardage, as we've just seen, ladies and gentlemen.
And that was Justin Piper. Came up and had a chance to shut that play down. Couldn't wrap. And what you saw is just a good effort by Morris getting upfield.
We've seen this a lot tonight. Direct snap to Reynolds. Reynolds takes the snap, crosses the 45. He'll be stood straight up. And Hughes will stand him up. Had some help from the other Crusaders.
And that was Morris again. Morris in that direct snap. He gets the ball, gets right upfield. And again, that play has been effective, but McDevitt, again, you have to try to find different ways to run the ball. And if you can get 4 yards on a running play, that's a successful running play. That puts you in a good down and distance. You're 2nd and 6, 2nd and 6.5. That's not bad. You have 2 downs to get that first down. The problem is if you get stoned or go backwards, and you're in 2nd and 10 or 2nd and 12.
Means will go under center. Morris. Play action. Rolling left. Dumps off and it's incomplete.
And again, we saw that jump pass again. That to me, it throws the timing off when you do it. I mean, it really does. So I'm not sure that has to be done by the quarterback, but he keeps doing that, and that there he overthrows the receiver, which could have picked up a big gain. McMeans, everything's right. Good fake, comes up, and then he kind of throws it. Jump throws it, which puts more trajectory on the ball and overthrows. So that's something he wants to work on, and he didn't have to do that. And I know his height makes that, he's under 6 foot, so I'm thinking that his height maybe has made him think, I have to do this.
It appears it is part of the problem. Ball will be incomplete. McMeans' pass was broken up to Reynolds. And there was a blitz, and Crusaders are sending people. Archie, let's go down. I mean, they are effectively sending stunts and sending a lot of guys at McMeans. They're in his face a lot tonight.
Yeah, but in that situation, he had time. I mean, and he did deliver a good ball. I think that was just good defense.
Well, one thing that we're seeing, guys, like we say, McDevitt is challenging these receivers at the line.
Yep.
It is press coverage every play. And the way it looks, guys, that is the strength of McDevitt's team. They are strong at their corners, and they are sending the house at Cedar Cliff, guys.
And that ball was almost blocked, but they got it off. Marsko's going to pick it up across the 20-yard line, 25. Shot knocked down at the 27. And they'll have the ball up 10-7. Stay tuned for our halftime report. Our Jack Giambavo halftime report will have mid-pin first half highlights and our Highmark halftime stats, as well as we'll go to Jerome, and he'll have a Capital Region Insurance Agency and AT&T student section feature with Logan Stump from Capital Region Insurance. All this coming up at halftime.
And again, Archie, was on to something. When you have that press man, you basically are having your corners and your safeties challenge the receivers at the line of scrimmage. And what they want to do in that situation is you want to throw the timing off from the quarterback and the receiver so that they are not in sync. So you get up, jam them, throw the timing off, and you can either get home or make a good play on the back end.
Williams staying on his feet, crossing the 45. I am really impressed with this freshman, Jerome. I mean, he runs really hard.
I mean, he does. I mean, he's shifty, he's quick, and I think sometimes the Cedar Cliff defense can't see him because of how small he is.
Right.
But he's low to the ground, and he's real powerful. And one of the things I like about him is he doesn't have any missed movements going right or left. He just goes right up the field, and at some point, his thinking is, I'll bust through for a big one.
Williams again.
I have been coaching against this kid since he's been 7 years old, and he's been the same runner back then as he is now, guys. So it is a delight to see this young man, what he's turned into. It is a very joy to see him playing as a true freshman, and he will only get better, like Jerome said, as the years to come.
And he's got in a backfield that has so many through the past, Ricky Waters.
Yeah. And bigger backs. Like, this is one of the first times we've seen a smaller stature back at Bishop McDevitt in a long time.
Andre Robertson. There's been so many. Down the sideline to Hopkins. He'll be knocked out of bounds.
And I'll tell you, Hopkins, for some reason, is wide open every time Bishop McDevitt throws the ball.
Well, he's wide open because he's burning the secondary.
He's wide open.
Watch it, take a look at it. He's blowing right past.
Exactly. He's blowing right past. And again, it seems to be that the corners are looking for help over top. And I think the scheme is they have another receiver inside that's keeping that safety shading the inside, but they're giving up the outside. So they're picking their poison, and they keep picking away from number 14.
Well, Powell back in the game. It's going to look like McDevitt's going to want a timeout to talk about it. We'll take one. We'll be right back to West Shore Stadium after these messages.
The Jack Giambalvo family of dealerships. 9 great franchises in 3 locations. Buick GMC, Hyundai, Mazda, Stadler Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, and introducing the all-new Genesis of York. The Giambalvo family of dealerships. Over $25 million in new and pre-owned inventory. With unbeatable service after the sale, too. There's a reason the Giambalvo family has been a part of your community for decades. Find out why. The Jack Giambalvo family of dealerships. 3 great locations. Online at giambalvo.com.
Well, to set this up, the ball is on the 16-yard line, 1st and 10 for McDevitt. A 37-yard hookup from Powell to Hopkins set this one up. Stay tuned for our Jack Giambalvo halftime report coming up. We'll have all of our highlights and stats, inside stats, with Jerome and Archie. And we'll have Archie will also be joining us to kind of give his analysis on the second half action that we'll have coming up and what we thought we saw in the first half. For 1:47 to play, 1st and 10, ball on the 16-yard line for McDevitt. Powell, quarterback, along with Williams. Give to Williams. Williams right side, crosses the 15-yard line, puts his head down, running hard.
And that's Lusk. And you either hear Lusk or Aikida on the tackle. These two are going back and forth, just being called on to really roam the field for this Cedar Cliff defense.
Well, guys, we're seeing linebacking cores on both sides that are definitely, you know, they're playing at the next level. It depends on where they're going to play at the next level, but they're at a high level. 2nd and 8, ball on the 14, Powell. Give to Williams. Williams going to try to look behind the block, finding a way. He runs more. He runs like a senior, not a freshman. I tell you what.
Well, I'll tell you what I like about him as well is his vision. He has really good vision, and you see him in that situation. He gets the ball off the left tackle, and he sees the hole open up and immediately turns upfield and gets positive yardage. Even though there are a lot of defenders around him, he's able to be slippery enough to get upfield.
I like that he waits for. There's 48 seconds to play here. Let's just set this up 3rd and 3 on the 9. But you know what he does well? He waits for his blocks. He waits for the hole to open up. Sometimes youngsters get a little bit, they just get a little excited and want to try to bounce that out all the time. He's just letting the play develop and waiting for the hole, and he's following those big offensive linemen.
Well, sometimes when you have running backs that are fast and that are quick and they rely so heavily on their speed, they believe and they're used to bouncing it outside. They did it in Pee Wee League. They did it all the way coming up. And there's so much to the ability to sometimes get the hard yards, and that means seeing a hole open up, charging through the hole, because sometimes if you're missed, you can break it big.
Yeah,
and so that's one of the things that shifty smaller backs have to learn as they get older and as they get more mature in the sport, is how to run inside when they're so used to burning everybody outside.
So it's 3rd and 3. Pitch to Williams. Williams is going to be, Williams finds a way to get through that. I thought he was a dead ringer in the backfield, found a way to get it to the 5-yard line.
He's slippery, man. He's
very slippery.
He's very slippery. Hard to bring down because of it. He's not big. He's just slippery. And you saw Cedar Cliff defenders had opportunities to make this a stop behind the line of scrimmage, and they just couldn't wrap him up.
Take a look at it right here. I really thought that he was in the grasp of Eisenhower. Ben Eisenhower had an opportunity to get him, and
Big Ben had him.
Didn't get him. It's just slipperiness of Williams. 1st and 5. Powell with pressure on that backside, rolling right. Going to dump off to Claire. And look who comes up and hits Claire.
And that was a really, really big play by Pedro. Coming up number 41 and just makes an amazing play there. It brings up a 2nd down. And again, Cedar Cliff has to dig in here. They have to do what they can to try to keep McDevitt out of the end zone. If you can get this and just allow a field goal attempt or no points at all, it puts you in a really good situation, and you actually get to carry that momentum into the 2nd half.
Well, there is a timeout on the field with 21 seconds, 2nd down and 11. Coming up at halftime, we'll have our Jack Giambavo halftime report. We're real happy you have a special feature too, Jerome.
Yep.
Coming up, we'll also have our CRA, Capital Region Insurance Agency, AT&T It Can Wait interview with Logan Stump. Our mid-pin bank highlights as well. And Archie will be joining us in the booth. 21 seconds to play here before half, 10-7 as you see the score on your screen. And we got a good one here at West Shore Stadium. Nice crowd tonight. Now we're finally getting a little bit of a breeze because, Jerome, I'm telling you, we needed a breeze up here because there was just a few minutes ago I was actually fully under evasion with the mosquitoes. They don't seem to even touch you. It must be the sweet blood that I have.
You must be just,
They get me. I'm always like, what about him? He's to my left. I'm over here smacking these mosquitoes up here.
You're sweet, man.
I'm sweet. Up here. I've always been sweet. Shotgun formation. Powell looking over top. It was signed all the way, and it's going to be a touchdown. Beautiful play call. He's in. He got. I mean, what a great play call, Julian Jordan. It was all along. Powell looked that way, Jerome.
Well, he did. I mean, there was definitely a mismatch on the play. You saw, the corner on that side just did not get his head around. It wasn't bad coverage, but you gotta snap your head around if you're the corner on that side, and that was Morris, the corner on the other side. He's 5'9", going against a guy that's 5'11", 6 foot, and it's just a jump ball. But as a corner, you have to turn your head around.
And Connor's kick, Marcico's hold up, and it's good. It'll be 17-7. We'll come back with more from West Shore Stadium after these messages.
Erie Insurance says here's to the grown-ups who move, mortgage, mow, and still bust a move. But does your home insurance still fit? Erie helps you protect the home you've grown into, all at fair prices that are often less than the other guys. So how do you find the right coverage? Magic. Nope. Local independent agents who get to know you like this.
Your local Erie agent is Capital Region Insurance Agency, 717-731-1142.
Erie Insurance.
Welcome back. 15 seconds left here in the quarter. 17-7 McDevitt. What a real nice drive too. Out of McDevitt and Powell. It was 8 plays, 73 yards. Took about 2 minutes to make that thing happen. It was set up nicely by Powell, and Williams was the workhorse in that whole possession. That was a 12-yard hookup from Powell. He's used 6 different receivers tonight, Jerome.
Well, what you see on one end is you see Bishop McDevitt being able to capitalize on big plays offensively. And the offense of Cedar Cliff is just being bogged down. At this point, it's 0.7 seconds. There hasn't been any offensive touchdowns by Cedar Cliff. Their only touchdown was on an interception pick 6. So you've seen that this offense hasn't been able to get going.
Let's look at our Van Soup's last drive. And Williams right there setting it up big time. 8-play drive. Powell looking over the top. 16 yards out, hooks up. Right there over the top. 12-yard TD to Jordan from Powell. And that's where the score is 17-7. 7 seconds here. It looks like means to just take the knee. We'll come back up with our Jack Giambavo halftime report. He won't. He'll give it to Morris. And that's going to be the last play of this half. And just like that, first half in the books. McDevitt 17-7. We'll come right back with our Jack Giambavo halftime report after these messages.
This month only, the heat is on at Hoffman Ford. We must sell 100 new Fords, so we're turning up the heat with our biggest savings ever. New 2019 Ford F-150 XLT, not $10,000 off, up to $13,500 off MSRP or 0% financing for 72 months, and up to $7,000 off MSRP. Over 50 in stock. Don't go anywhere else because
Hoffman has it.
Hoffman Ford in Harrisburg.
Hoffman Ford, just what you're looking for. Hoffman has it.
This is an education that focuses on your child's unique interests. It's taking field trips and making friendships. And it's what a modern-day public K-12 education looks like. This is Commonwealth Charter Academy, and this is how schools should work. CCA is an online public school available at no cost to all Pennsylvania families. Learn how Commonwealth Charter Academy can work for your family at ccaeducate.me.
Groff Tractor is your full-line equipment dealer representing Case Construction and many other leading brands, serving the total sales, rentals, parts, and service needs of its customers. Groff Tractor paves the way for your project from start to finish. With 6 locations, Groff Tractor is always nearby your equipment needs. Groff Tractor also offers scheduled maintenance along with 24/7 emergency service. Groff Tractor is your #1 source for everything under construction.
Just went. Here's the deal. Road trips can get pricey. At rest stops alone, there's lunch, snacks, gas. So instead, I go to Giant and get bonus buy savings on everything we need to stay on the road.
I forgot my retainer.
If we ever leave.
Everything you need at prices you'll love, only at Giant.
Our brand boneless, skinless chicken breasts, this week $1.69 per pound.
These past few years have been tough on all of us. You worry about the economy, your job, your savings. You may even have given up on your dream of owning your own home. But don't give up just yet. We're PHFA. We help people realize their dreams of owning their own home with features like competitive interest rates, down payment and closing cost assistance, and even free homeownership counseling. PHFA can make your dream of homeownership finally come true. Find us on the web or call us to find out how.
I'm Brian Hudson, and we're PHFA. Welcome home.
Advanced Hoops is running fall intensity training classes in South Central PA as players from all over the Mid-State will travel to train with Advanced Hoops. Go to advancedhoops.com to see that each age group has a chance for players to compete 5-on-5 in competition classes. We have a great opportunity for players to improve their shooting with Charlie starting next Thursday night. Charlie's shooting will go for 8 weeks, and players can participate and they'll be transformed to be prepared for the season. Go to www.advancedhoops.com.
This month only, the heat.
Well, welcome back to our Jack Jim Bravo halftime report. Todd McCall along with Archie Smith Jr. Jerome Presley scores 17-7. Let's go with you, Archie, first of all. It looked like a little bit just a defensive slugfest there in the beginning. 7-7. We had some turnovers. McDevitt had 2 turnovers. But I like what they've done here, 17-7. Some good play calling, I thought, from the offensive side of things.
One thing McDevitt is doing, they're taking advantage of their mismatches out there. And you can see that they're trying with their Hopkins. Hopkins is winning his one-on-one matchup out there, and they're going deep. So one thing about McDevitt, they're slowing the ball down. And if you take away the turnovers, I think McDevitt will have more points than they really show right now. And it's the same thing for Cedar Cliff. Cedar Cliff is playing excellent football on offense and defense. So a couple of turnovers, guys, and we have a different score. Yeah. But I like a 17-7 score. We're used to seeing a lot of points.
Well, that lone score that Cliff has tonight is because of an interception thrown on a floated screen, and they blew the play up. And that's how they got 7 on the board, but McDevitt really turned the tides in the second quarter.
Yeah, I mean, I think Cedar Cliff right now, offensively, they're not in sync. They're trying to run the ball. I think that's their strength. They're trying to run the ball, and McDevitt's defense is just making it almost impossible. So what does that do? It forces Cedar Cliff to have to throw the ball. Well, there's a mismatch situation. When you talk about the skill position situation, McDevitt has it. And then on the defensive side, McDevitt is just really taking advantage of the height difference and the athletic difference on the outside. So you're seeing both quarterbacks be able to fade back and just put it up there, and their athletes are able to go get it. And these smaller corners are just not able to hold up in coverage.
Well, on that note, let's take an opportunity to look at our Mid-Penn Bank halftime highlights. Powell comes out, starts the game. That was a game-time decision, and right there, Cintron will take the ball back, interception, and Cliff goes on the board 7-0. Aluya hits his favorite receiver, Hopkins, 31 out. You see the pressure coming, stays in the pocket, drops it off. He throws an interception. Same guy, Cintron, 2 interceptions tonight. And then this one right here. When Cedar Cliff was driving one of their better possessions, the ball is fumbled on the play, and Powell gets it back, and then Powell gives it right back to him in the red zone. 2 fumbles in the red zone, Archie. But McDevitt settled down, and this one right here, what I thought was an absolute right call. That's where you talked about the mismatch. That was Powell to Jordan, and that's 17-7, and that's where we are now. Again, we talked about mismatches. If you're going into the locker room and you're going to be talking to that Cedar Cliff defense, what are you going to do? I don't know how you can press those guys against the line right
Well, one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to settle down. I'm going to tell my corner, if we're in man coverage, I'm going to cover my man. But one thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to give my cornerback some help. And what it is, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to shade his safety over and make McDevitt beat me underneath. As you can see, the game is starting to change now between high school and college. A lot of teams are built to not get beat deep and let a team dink and dunk. So if I'm Cedar Cliff right now, that's what I'm doing as a defensive coordinator. I'm going to let you dink and dunk me down the field, but you will not be able to get a big play.
And let's go on the other side. McDevitt doing some things effectively offensively.
Well,
You've got some mismatches, but what are you going to keep doing?
I think the one thing that we've seen is the ability to run the ball. I mean, don't be surprised if McDevitt comes out here and again establishes the run. You've seen a change to balance where they're starting to throw the ball deep, but they're also starting to pick up yardage in the run game, and they're controlling the game because of it. And I agree with Archie with the Cedar Cliff side. You know, you got a shade, but one of the things I think is going to be important also is to challenge my defensive front. They have to get pressure on the quarterback. When they've done that, they had success defensively.
All right, let's take an opportunity right now to look at our high mark halftime stats. 17-7 first downs, just impressive. The Crusader side 8-2, and then you got passing yards 210, and total yards. That is. I mean, that looks so lopsided right now. But the score is tight enough that if you're a Colts fan, you are not out of this game. We are used to a slugfest and a scorefest at the same time, guys.
Yeah, I mean, they're still in the game. However, they haven't been able to establish anything offensively. So if they can't do that, McDevitt will just keep piling on the points.
Right.
And if you have a good offense, you can keep that defense off the field and you can keep that McDevitt offense off the field.
But let's take an opportunity to take a break. We'll come right back with more of our Jack Giovanni halftime report. Coming up, we'll have a special report with Drome and Logan Stone after these messages.
These past few years have been tough on all of us. You worry about the economy, your job, your savings. You may even have given up on your dream of owning your own home. But don't give up just yet. We're PHFA. We help people realize their dreams of owning their own home with features like competitive interest rates, down payment and closing cost assistance, and even free home ownership counseling. PHFA can make your dream of home ownership finally come true. Find us on the web or call us to find out how.
I'm Brian Hudson, and we're PHFA. Welcome home.
This month only, the heat is on at Hoffman Ford. We must sell 100 new Fords, so we're turning up the heat with our biggest savings ever. Take up to $6,000 off MSRP on a 2019 Ford Escape SC, or 0% financing for 60 months, and up to $3,250 off MSRP. Over 50 in stock. Don't go anywhere else because
Hoffman has it.
Hoffman Ford in Harrisburg.
Hoffman Ford, just what you're looking for. Hoffman has it.
I got the phone call that every parent dreads. Our beautiful 19-year-old daughter Peyton had died. Sudden cardiac arrest had ended her precious young life. This #1 killer of student athletes and leading cause of death on school campuses attacked our family. Many heart conditions that can lead to sudden cardiac arrest aren't found during routine physicals. That's why the Peyton Walker Foundation provides free heart screenings for teens. Help prevent sudden cardiac arrest in your family. Visit PeytonWalker.org.
Erie Insurance says here's to the grown-ups who move, mortgage, mow, and still bust a move. But does your home insurance still fit? Erie helps you protect the home you've grown into, all at fair prices that are often less than the other guys. So how do you find the right coverage? Magic. Nope. Local independent agents who get to know you like this.
Your local Erie agent is Capital Region Insurance Agency, 717-731-1142.
Erie Insurance.
The Jack Giambalvo family of dealerships. 9 great franchises in 3 locations. Buick GMC, Hyundai, Mazda, Cedar Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, and introducing the all-new Genesis of York. The Giambalvo family of dealerships. Over 25 million in new and pre-owned inventory, with unbeatable service after the sale, too. There's a reason the Giambalvo family has been a part of your community for decades. Find out why. The Jack Giambalvo family of dealerships. 3 great locations. Online at giambalvo.com.
As a trusted local community bank, Mid-Penn Bank offers options for families including simple free checking, a young savers account, great rates on CD and money market, an array of financing options including mortgages and home equity loans. Stop in at Mid-Penn Bank branch near you or visit midpennbank.com. High School Sports Live is proud to sponsor the Giant Food Fight this year in partnership with Giant Foods to support the Central PA Food Bank. To find out how you can support the Central PA Food Bank, volunteer or donate non-perishable food items, please go to www.centralpafoodbank.org. This year, High School Sports Live is partnering with Capital Region Insurance Agency and AT&T to bring awareness to distracted driving. Each game will feature the Capital Region Insurance Agency and AT&T student section and ask students to consider Capital Region's challenge to young drivers that a text or a call can wreck it all. AT&T is challenging students to join millions who have taken the pledge to drive distraction-free as part of It Can Wait campaign. To learn more, visit itcanwait.com. We at High School Sports Live are proud to partner with Capital Region Insurance Agency and AT&T to educate students on the harmful effects of distracted driving. AT&T is challenging students to take the pledge to drive distraction-free. Students in the Cedar Cliff student section are being challenged to take that pledge as well. If you're at home and want to take that pledge, go to itcanwait.com. Right now, our own Jerome Presley is in the AT&T Capital Region student section with Capital Region Insurance Agency's Logan Stump to talk about the efforts to educate students at tonight's game. Jerome, take it away.
Stump from Capital Insurance, along with Jory Kovorski, who's here with us as well as one of the senior basketball players. And we're here with the students from Cedar Cliff taking on the AT&T Challenge. And as you can see, we're wearing some pretty good T-shirts with a pretty important message. So Logan, tell us about the message.
It's a text or call, could wreck it all. Obviously, it's a texting campaign with no driving at the same time, and Joey knows a lot about that as well. We did a little commercial last year about the whole thing, and he did a great job.
And Joey, can you tell me about being a young driver and what that means to you?
I mean, helping you become safe on the road, not just for you, but for others.
And thinking about it from a young perspective, you have a lot of kids that are out there on the road. What are some advice you can give kids as they're on the road?
Always wear your seatbelt and never and drive.
And I tell you, Capital Region Insurance is putting on a pretty good event, a pretty big event for Cedar Cliff. Guys, we're coming up on the second half. Right now, Cedar Cliff isn't doing too good. And again, as we can see, the fans here are still in it. But guys, what do you think about the second half? It's hard right now. What do you think is going to happen?
I think Cedar Cliff's going to come back and pull it off.
Okay. And what about you? What are your thoughts?
Always trust in the comeback. Always trust in the comeback. Let's go!
Okay, Todd, Archie, you guys.
Well, as you know, guys, join the other millions to take the pledge. It Can Wait. Distraction-free driving. Please, if you can, go to itcanwait.com and take a look at it. Bishop McDevitt, 17-7. Cedar Cliff will be back with the second half actions at West Shore Stadium after these messages.
You just went. Here's the deal. Road trips can get pricey. At rest stops alone, there's lunch, snacks, gas. So instead, I go to Giant. and get bonus buy savings on everything we need
To stay on the road.
I forgot my retainer.
If we ever leave.
Everything you need at prices you'll love. Only at Giant.
Our brand boneless, skinless chicken breasts, this week $1.69 per pound.
This is an education that focuses on your child's unique interests. It's taking field trips and making friendships. And it's what a modern-day public K-12 education looks like. This is Commonwealth Charter Academy, and this is how schools should work. CCA is an online public school available at no cost to all Pennsylvania families. Learn how Commonwealth Charter Academy can work for your family at ccaeducate.me.
Fans, does your players have what it takes to be part of the largest, most successful AAU basketball program in Central Pennsylvania? Team Pennsylvania AAU Basketball is having their fall AAU tryouts the weekend of October 26th and 27th. Team Pennsylvania continues to set the standard for high-level AAU, having sent the most student athletes to college than any other Central PA program. So to register for the fall tryouts, go to www.teampahoops.com. High School Sports Live is proud to sponsor the Giant Food Fight this year in partnership with Giant Foods to support the Central PA Food Bank. To find out how you can support the Central PA Food Bank, volunteer or donate non-perishable food items, please go to www.centralpafoodbank.org. This year, High School Sports Live is partnering with Capital Region Insurance Agency and AT&T to bring awareness to distracted driving. Each game will feature the Capital Region Insurance Agency and AT&T student section and ask students to consider Capital Region's challenge to young drivers that a text or a call can wreck it all. AT&T is challenging students to join millions who have taken the pledge to drive distraction-free as part of it Can Wait campaign. To learn more, visit itcanwait.com.
You just went. Here's the deal. Road trips can get pricey. At rest stops alone, there's lunch, snacks, gas. So instead, I go to Giant and get bonus buy savings on everything we need
To stay on the road.
I forgot my retainer.
If we ever leave.
Everything you need at prices you'll love. Only at Giant.
Our brand boneless, skinless chicken breasts, this week $1.69 per pound.
This is an education that focuses on your child's unique interests. It's taking field trips and making friendships. And it's what a modern-day public K-12 education looks like. This is Commonwealth Charter Academy, and this is how schools should work. CCA is an online public school available at no cost to all Pennsylvania families. Learn how Commonwealth Charter Academy can work for your family at ccaeducate.me.
Well, welcome back to third quarter action, 17-7. McDevitt, if you're just tuning in, McDevitt really dominated the total yardage scene in the first half. We'll see how Cedar Cliff started off the game. Cintron has 2 interceptions. Pedro Cintron, the 185-pound senior for Cedar Cliff, he put him on the board early. But McDevitt really settled down. They're going with 2 quarterbacks tonight. They're going with Powell and Aluya. Bryce Connor set to kick. It's going to take a basket. Reynolds Vasquez will pick it up. And he'll cross over the 32, and Cedar Cliff will have the ball down 17-7.
And I'll tell you what, we got some scores real quick that we can run through. Gettysburg is up 29-0 on Susquehannock. Milton Hershey at the half is up 20-16 on East Pennsboro, so that's a close game. Northeastern up 14-7 on Dallastown area. State College and Chambersburg in a battle, 3-3 at the half. Middletown area 35-14 on Still High, so that's a big game out there between those two schools. 48-0 Northern over Greencastle. 7-7 Red Line against Southwestern. Red Line's trying to bounce back from last week's loss. And Bermudian Springs up 37-0 on Fairfield area, and William Penn 37 to Spring Grove 6.
Pitch to Morris on the left side. Morris will cross just shy of the 40-yard line. Morris has 12 carries and 45 yards tonight, no TDs. You see that. He's worked for all those 45 yards tonight. I mean, he has lined up many times in the first half. You saw him in the Wildcat formation. So he has had his share tonight of work.
Yeah, I mean, Morris, again, Cedar Cliff has to be able to run the ball because they can't just sit back and think that they can just pass the ball on Bishop McDevitt. As you can see, like Archie said, they're impressed man that Bishop McDevitt, those corners, they're making those receivers work for everything they get.
McMeans rolls left side, incomplete. He had backside pressure and had to get rid of it. Probably a good decision just rolling out, get rid of it. It'll be 3rd down and 9 on the 34.
And again, Bishop McDevitt, they're coming after the quarterback. They're playing press man in the back end, and their thing is we're going to attack Means and not let him get comfortable in the pocket. And as you can see, Means is struggling to get himself in rhythm, and his offense is showing the same thing.
A lot of young guys on the field tonight. We're really showcasing some young talent on both sides, in particular on McDevitt's side, that I think have great futures. 3rd and 9. McMeans back to pass with time's going to go over top and had the ball went right through his hands. We got flags down. It went through Jaheim Reynolds' hands. Jaheim was open, and that ball was thrown where you want it for that receiver.
Well, I'll tell you, it was the only place you could throw it because Cooper's coverage was dead on. I mean, that had to be a perfect pass, and it was. Should have been caught, but a holding penalty will help out. So now that Cedar Cliff offense can keep and stay on the field. But you saw he was step for step. But I think they're saying that it was a hold, which as a corner, I'm not sure that that's what it was, but they're going to call that every time. I thought he had his head wrapped around. I didn't think that was a call.
That ball was so nice.
It was. It really was. That had to be the perfect throw, and it was. And the receiver just couldn't bring it in.
It'll be 1st and 10. Morris up the middle, and he's kind of stood up by the McDevitt Crusaders defense. They've kind of been real stingy with anything up the middle.
And again, that defensive line is really hard to move, and you have those linebackers filling the gaps.
Carr filling the gap, and all, I mean, you know, Bakos and George Herron and Morgan, Hughes and Piper, Blackstone, man, I tell you what, they're solid. The size is physical.
Well, think about it. You have these two bookends. Tyreek Hughes, 5'10", 260, and then you have Sawyer Morgan. He's 6'2", 285. Those are two bookend defensive tackles. They are extremely hard to move, so they just create piles in that middle of that offense.
McMeans will have to shuffle pass, and it was complete to Adam Enrico. He's lucky to get that off. I mean, the pressure was definitely coming.
And I tell you, it's you know, when you look at that defense, they're really flustering this Cedar Cliff offense. They just cannot establish anything. McMeans doesn't have time to pass. Receivers aren't open downfield, so the coverage is really tight. So they're going to have to find other ways to try to be creative and get the ball out.
McMeans rolling right, and it's caught by Gumbola. And he breaks the tackle, still on his feet across the 40.
And right on command, we had a big play by Bola. He's able to catch the ball, get upfield, break a tackle, get the first down. And as you can see, when you roll a quarterback out, that gives you the opportunity to avoid the rush. But the only thing is it cuts off parts of the field that you can throw to, but it gives you more time to at least throw the ball.
Gumbola actually broke a tackle and got some more out of the ball. Now be spotted on the 37-yard line. 1st and 10, 9:16 here from West Shore Stadium. Gonna be direct snap. Morris will get it. Running hard, crossing the 35. He'll pick up 3. It'll be spotted on the 34. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Drive for Cedar Cliff right here. What do you guys think?
Archie, it's no doubt about it. I mean, you bring that up at a great time. I mean, you kind of stole the words right out of my mouth. 8:38 to play. They really got to get their West Shore crowd. They get a nice crowd tonight, trying to get them back into the game. Morris. It's going to be snapped directly to Morris. Morris is going to jump pass, and that was not covered at all. What a beautiful play. Touchdown, Cedar Cliff. I mean, it couldn't ask for a better play at the right call. Kevin Lusk. Let's go down to Archie on the field. Archie, what a great play call.
Hey, guys, it's just the energy that I feel down here, and I'm telling you guys, I knew something was coming up just then, and that was a well-executed play at the right time, guys.
Well, we talked about how Cedar Cliff had to be creative. They couldn't just line up and just go right into the teeth of the defense. They had to find creative ways to move the ball. What did we see? Roll the quarterback out, get him away from the rush, let him deliver a quick out pass, a deep out. You get that play, you get a first down, and then you come right back with a slight trick play. Halfback gets the ball, he acts like he's running. You saw that 10 times a day, and he ran the ball. Well, one time he changes it up.
Perfectly set up.
Tight end goes upfield, you're able to get the ball over his head. So, again, you got to be creative. And sometimes when you're creative, you start to loosen up the defense. So you have to be able to do that and give them something else to think about besides just teeing off on your ball carrier and your quarterback.
Absolutely great play
and another thing, guys, as you can see, that play was created 11 years ago by one of the greatest, I think, college football players to ever play, and that was Tim Tebow. We used to call that the Tim Tebow jump pass right there, guys.
It was set up
and
perfectly.
You can see that right there, guys. It was well executed. Come up, get the defense up, tip the ball off.
And that point after is good. And we've got a new ball game here now. 17-13. More after these messages.
The Jack Giambalvo family of dealerships. 9 great franchises in 3 locations. Buick GMC, Hyundai, Mazda, Stadler Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, and introducing the all-new Genesis of York. The Giambalvo family of dealerships. Over $25 million in new and pre-owned inventory, with unbeatable service after the sale, too. There's a reason the Giambalvo family has been a part of your community for decades. Find out why. The Jack Giambalvo family of dealerships. 3 great locations. Online at giambalvo.com.
Well, welcome back. Don't go anywhere. We got a great one here. 17-13, 14, excuse me, point after. Just a great drive. And it just was set up by just consistency and doing that pass there was dangerous, but somehow Enrico caught it.
This was the play. I thought this was the play that I think really gave Cedar Cliff what they needed as far as energy.
Gumbola broke a tackle, and that kept it going, and this jump pass set everybody up. Oh, absolutely beautiful play. Lusk takes it into the end zone.
And that was sold because he came to the line of scrimmage as if he was going to run the ball. And then out of nowhere, he jumps up and able to deliver a ball downfield to a wide open receiver. So again, being creative to get on the board, to bring this game a little tighter. The drive was 7 plays, 67 yards, and chewed up 3 minutes and 39 seconds. If you're doing that, McDevitt's offense not on the field.
That's right. As you said, took about 3 minutes, 7 plays, 67 yards.
Now the hardest part is stopping this McDevitt offense that seems to be getting their groove. So you got to figure out how to get that momentum transferred to your defensive side of the ball.
The last couple of possessions have now been all Powell back at quarterback. Powell to Williams. Williams running hard, crossing the 25-yard line, and he'll be taken down. Really love what he's been doing today.
Well, I'll tell you, Archie at half, he was talking about the help that the defense is going to do, and you still have Jonta Morris, 5'9", 150 pounds, is still out there on an island with Amari Hopkins, and that size difference is significant to see those small corners going up against these big, fast receivers with not a lot of help. They're playing man coverage against these guys with no help in the back end, cover 3.
And something just didn't look right from the offensive side for McDevitt from the get-go. Powell turns to move Williams where he wants him, and the left side of the offense jumps. So 7:39 here to play in the third quarter. 17-14. We've said it. The last 4 games come down to 7 points or less. Last 2 going to Cedar Cliff. We always look forward to this McDevitt matchup with Cedar Cliff. Powell looking downfield, firing, incomplete across the 50-yard line.
And again, you see these small corners going against these big receivers, and not only are these corners smaller, but these receivers are fast as well. They're big and they're fast, and you have these corners that are really struggling. You have to give them some help on the outside for them to have a chance.
Well, he went to Foster, a sophomore, and that's going to go against Cedar Cliff.
I mean, that penalty probably saved the touchdown.
That saved the touchdown.
But that's, you know, if you're going to play man like that, and I think they got burned when they went a little bit more zone early on, because that's when you saw those deep in routes that happened. So now they're coming up playing more press or more closer to the line of scrimmage, but they're one-on-one against these receivers. And again, every year, year in and year out, when we see these two match up, that's the one area that McDevitt picks on, is the receivers downfield and their athletic talent against the corners, who do well probably against everybody else. But when they play against McDevitt, that's a hard task for them.
Archie, and you said it too, Arch. You said that really, I mean, you can let him dunk and, you know, try to get the under, but you can't let him go over top and beat you long.
What's one thing we've been learning as a defensive back from a young age, and Jerome can attest to this, if he gets behind you, hold him, pull him, do something, but do not give up a big play.
Powell with time, steps up in the pocket, and will be taken down. Great defense there. And I'm telling you that Albert Rosado is playing tonight. He's 225 pounds. He wears 50. He gets after it, Jerome.
He does get after it. And he's defensive end. He's low to the ground. He's not your typical defensive end. Many times you like guys that are taller, but you see him get that leverage on the outside. The tackles for Bishop McDevitt are having a hard time blocking him, because he's able to dip that shoulder, make himself even appear smaller as he's getting that momentum. He gets a second sack today, and again, that's what you need, is that challenge of your defensive line to consistently get pressure on these McDevitt quarterbacks.
I'm telling you, they're having trouble blocking him, and in particular, I mean, Gabe Arena's a freshman. He struggled a bit with Rosado. Powell intercepted. Lust down the sideline, cross the 20, put his head down, rams.
And I'll tell you what, that was a big play. Rosado on that play, McDevitt doubled him.
Yeah.
They doubled him. They had a back slide over to double him up, because they see that he's bringing pressure. But that time you saw a linebacker get his drop. He got that depth. Got right into the passing lane. It's not really a lot of, there was some pressure that came on the outside, so he had to deliver it, and linebacker is in the right place at the right time, number 42, and that's Lusk, and we've been calling his name all game long defensively.
And I don't know if there's a penalty, but McLaughlin came up to make the tackle. Boy, Lusk put his head down and drove him back a few yards.
Well, it looked like it'll be a penalty, so the yardage will be different. But it looks like Cedar Cliff will keep the ball, so they'll have possession. So it was on the return. The penalty was on the return. So the turnover stands. So again, they still have the ball. It would have been nice to have it close in the red zone like that, though. But you got to see if you can march it down again and see if that creative spin can continue to happen for Cedar Cliff.
Archie, it might be the first time in a while that I talk about defensive efforts, depending on who wins it. The player of the game's going to some of these defenders tonight, especially Rosado putting that pressure on him, makes things happen.
Well, guys, you can see, here we go with another play.
And this time it's going to be picked off, Arch.
As you can see, it was a play action, and you can see pressure was coming from Piper on the back end, and he tried to get the ball on the inside of the shoulder, but it floated to the outside, and you have a great cornerback as Mr. Jordan over there. That's an easy pick.
And Arch, he also had pressure. Quarterback had pressure too, so he really had to get rid of that ball, and he put it up there, and again, it was like a punt return.
So here we go. It was a chess versus checkers. As you see, McDevitt dialed up the heat right there. If they were playing soft coverage right there on a deep play action where you had max protection, that play can go for an incomplete or it can go for a touchdown.
1st and 10, ball on the 6-yard line. Aluya is in the game now.
And that defense again swarms, and that's what you have to do against McDevitt. So you had an opportunity to get a turnover. You got a penalty on the turnover, which backed you up. First play, throw another interception. So again, you got to try to get that momentum back, see if you can get another defensive stop. and you can't get away from being creative. If you just sit back and try to throw the ball on McDevitt, you're going to have problems because your line, you're asking your offensive line to hold up when the corners are really pressing your receivers. So they have to, again, try different ways to get yardage.
Williams across the 10. You see the 4 turnovers by McDevitt, 2 by Cedar Cliff, so 6 total. Those 4, I mean, that's just the difference in the game.
Yeah, I mean, right now, those 4 turnovers have actually kept Cedar Cliff in the game.
That's it.
And now, you know, Cedar Cliff gives it back twice. So it's kind of, you know, you do have that advantage in the turnover battle, even though you're down by a couple of points. But if you can eliminate turnovers on both sides, you're going to help yourself either take the lead or at least get further back into this game.
Hallelujah, back to pass. Fires complete. And it's going to move the chains to be a first down. That was Cooper.
And guys, I heard you guys point out some things about the McDevitt line. One thing I am impressed by the freshman Gabe Arena right now because he is a young freshman. He's a big freshman that's in there, and he's having to grow up in this moment. The pressure is coming from the opposite side, and this kid is having to step up and hold his own. As you can see, when McDevitt does get positive yardage, they're getting positive yardage from the right side, and they're getting it from a true freshman, guys.
Yep. He's got his hands full, though. He's all night he's had Rosado to block.
And I think we had unsportsmanlike penalties on both. So it was both teams got hit with unsportsmanlike. I wonder if there was some jawing back and forth between the two.
Guys, standing down here, the matchup that you guys are pointing out, it is a war down here in the trenches, guys.
Yeah, that's where I see the if there's anything close to even is in the trenches. Right now, that's where the battle needs to be won. And Cedar Cliff, at times, they're holding their own. But, man, on the back end, they have to shore up something or try different things to get pressure. That's going to help your secondary because, man for man, they're struggling a little bit guarding those bigger guys. So you have to get pressure. And when they've gotten pressure, we've seen the turnovers. We've seen the negative plays or the sacks. So they need to keep doing that.
So it'll be 1st and 10, ball on the 21-yard line. Hallelujah. Gabe DeClaire, not much there.
And that was just great defense by number 7. Gaelic comes up on the play, makes a really good stop from his defensive end position, as well as Lutz.
Great play.
And Anthony Jones on the play, too.
So it's 2nd and 12. Shuffle pass set up for Claire. Claire crossed the 30-yard line. What a good play call at a great time for McDevitt as some of the momentum had changed in favor of Cedar Cliff. Right now trying to put a nice drive together is Oluya and McDevitt. So it'll be 3rd and 1 from the 30. He's just short of the first down. Long, hard snap. Cedar Cliff will jump. It'll be offsides. Nice look again tonight. The crowd been a little bit quiet, but have had a lot to take in tonight.
They did. I mean, I thought that Cedar Cliff came out perfectly on their drive coming into the 3rd quarter. So, again, they have to try to figure out how to get that momentum back. And if they can, you know, there's no panic. There's no need to panic. They're only down 3 points right now. And so they're in this game consistently. They just have to see if they can stop Bishop McDevitt at some point and get the ball back.
Pass is complete, connected to Foster. Take a look again at this pass.
And you see Bishop McDevitt going max protect. Both backs are in the block. So that's going to make it harder to get to the quarterback. So they're saying, you know what, we're going to go max protect, and we're going to take our athlete over your athlete down the field.
And it's working. I mean, absolutely working. It's giving Oluya time to throw. And that's all he needs. He really slings it. He's a gunslinger. And there's a fumble, and it looks like Cedar Cliff's going to recover it.
And that was an amazing defensive play.
Look who it is. Does it surprise you? It's Rosado.
Well, let's see on the replay who caused this. I believe number 60, Jones, got involved in this. Let's see where it comes at. Yep, there you go. Big number 60 in the middle of the defense causes the fumble. And there you go, another turnover. Rosado gets the fumble recovery. He's having an amazing game. 2 sacks, a fumble recovery. You know, he's really playing lights out. And again, Anthony coming up and making a big, big play from that defensive line position. Well, let's see, Todd, if this Cedar Cliff offense can do something with the ball now. They have to move that defense, and that's been hard sledding all game.
It means that 8 yards, 8 for 28, but they don't put him in. They're going to go Morris in the Wildcat direct snap again. Last play was effective, that little jump pass.
It was, and you got to come back to it. Anything direct is going to be hard to do. And you just saw just the Marsico. I mean, you just saw a swarm of players.
Blackstone, yeah, coming up to make that tackle. All right, quarterback coming back into the game now. McMeans inside the huddle. Ball on the 41. 2nd and 12. McMeans dumps up the backfield, and it's going to be dropped by Morris.
And again, he wouldn't have had much room anyway. I mean, I think if he could have caught it, there was like 5 white jerseys waiting for him to converge on him on the play.
And no way would he have been able to get out of it.
No. I mean, unless he's Houdini, and we know he's a good back.
Yeah, he's a good back.
So
you would need some Houdini-like moves to get out of that. I think Custer's last stand is what it looked like. 3rd and 12. McMeans has 3 receivers to his left. Time going over top. And he's had him a lot tonight, but he overthrew it, and there's a flag. It'll be pass interference, I believe. Reynolds.
And the thing was, Todd, the coverage was good up until that last couple of steps. Right. That's where you saw the hook.
Yeah. I believe McMeans has had Reynolds several times tonight. And look,
but
right here.
Look at the corner. Look where the corner is.
He's right
That's
there.
Good coverage.
Yeah,
I mean, there has been no throw downfield that hasn't been contested in some way. The pass has to be perfect in order for it to be completion.
Jahi Cooper is on, like you said, look here, total yards, 284 to Cedar Cliff 64.
Yeah, and that tells the tale of the tape. I mean, Cedar Cliff cannot connect downfield much at all unless it's going to be a penalty because that coverage has been so sound. So they got to find a different way to try. Direct is not working against Bishop McDevitt, so you got to find indirect ways to get yardage and loosen that defense up.
Morris over the right side, pushing across the 20-yard line, still on his feet, and he'll be wrestled down.
So again, a good first down carry. Morris, a lot of that was on him. That was a nice 6 yards. Gives you 2nd and 4. So you can work with 2nd and 4 any day of the week. Good block from the fullback.
It was, real good block.
And that's number 32. That's Akita, who plays both ways. He's been bringing the sledgehammer on both sides of the ball.
Oh, almost fumbled. Man, that looked dangerous. Claire just ripped Reynolds down the ball. The handoff just, boy, they got lucky. Dodged the bullet there, Cedar Cliff. We've had our share of turnovers tonight. McDevitt with 5 turnovers. Cedar Cliff with 2. There was no game. We're winding down here in the 3rd quarter. Look at that. Man, do they dodge a bullet as that ball bounced around Reynolds. Look at Claire just making the tackle. Really kind of picked Reynolds up. 3rd and 4, ball on the 20, down under 40.
So again, you need 4 yards. You got to keep this drive. It was now closer to 6 or 5. You got to get this first down if you're Cedar Cliff.
McMeans keeps it, pushing forward. He'll be. It's what, shy of a couple.
Yeah, I think they'll go. I mean, right now you're in position. You know, if you don't get it, McDevitt's backed up. You're only down 3 points. The game's still in your reach. Going for it, you know, I can see this, you know, being an opportunity to try to get it in right at the beginning of the fourth quarter.
Well, that's the end of the fourth quarter action coming up at West Shore Stadium. We absolutely have a great one here. Fourth quarter action coming, but we've been doing something really exciting all year long with the cheerleaders, the Capital Food Bank and Giant Foods have teamed up. So our cheerleaders have taken the opportunity to join up with Giant Food to fight against hunger. And the McDevitt cheerleaders have grouped up and they're finding their way to fight back. And before the game, we had an opportunity to watch what they could do for Central Pennsylvania Food Bank and the fight against hunger.
So again,
well, welcome back, fourth quarter. It'll be 4th and 2, fresh 12 minutes to play. And Jerome, Cedar Cliff will obviously go for it where they're at, located. The ball is on the 16, 2 yards. I'd say yard and a half, really.
Yeah, I tell you, man, 17-14, close game between these two again. Even though Bishop McDevitt is really, they have a significant advantage in yardage.
Yeah.
Cedar Cliff has done enough turnover-wise to kind of allow themselves to stay in this game. So if they can convert here, they can keep this drive going and have an opportunity to tie or take the lead here against Bishop McDevitt.
Trick snap to Morris. Morris spun around, he broke the tackle, stayed on his feet, and will pick up the first down and keep the drive alive for Cedar Cliff.
And
big play, gutsy
play. I mean, you're talking about a kid that just was not going to be denied. He was not going to go down. So you see him get the ball, the hole shuts, and let's take a look at this. He just bounced off Sawyer Morgan, 6'2", 285, met him in the hole. He bounces off of him to get the first down.
And Jerome, you know what he didn't do? Morgan did not wrap.
No,
he came up to hit him, and he didn't put his arms around him. That's the problem.
You know, the running back Morris did not give him a lot to hit
because he spun off.
He spun off him.
Morris running hard again across the 10-yard line down to the 8.
So there you see it. Those young guys that are playing Pee Wee and Archie, who coaches the younger kids, running backs. When you have an opportunity, you don't want to give guys clean shots on you, because when you don't have clean shots on you, you're able to spin off of guys even when they're big.
Yeah.
Another thing that we've been seeing, guys, that they have been running, they've been stopping. Now it's starting to take a toll in the fourth quarter, guys.
Yep, you're right. McDevitt's been on the field a lot. Morris, left side, stays on his feet and be drugged down at the 1-yard line. Man, I tell you, he's ran hard tonight. He's been a workhorse here at West Shore. He's got an opportunity to put his team up.
But just think about it. He's been bottled up most of the game.
Exactly. If you look at the first, second, and third quarter, that play right there has only been getting 1 to 2 to 3 yards. Now we're getting that fourth quarter. His offensive line is getting hungry. Now it's 3 to 4 to 5 yards, guys.
Yep, and that sets you up. You get 4 to 5 yards on first down, you're in 2nd and 5. So it gives you the ability to continue to run the ball and not have to jump back and throw.
Look at Cedar Cliff. Morse on the board, touchdown, Colts. And that'll give them the lead.
And that kid right there, what you're seeing is he's getting stronger as the game goes on. And that's what you want from a running back, because sometimes you're going to go against a defense that is just tough. And you have to be able to you know, you're not going to have those 244-yard games all season long. So sometimes the better performance is those games where you get maybe 70, 60 yards, but yet you brought your team back.
Well, the point after is missed. So it'll be 20 to 17 with more to come after these messages.
Erie Insurance says here's to the grown-ups who move mortgage, mow, and still bust a move. But does your home insurance still fit? Erie helps you protect the home you've grown into, all at fair prices that are often less than the other guys. So how do you find the right coverage? Magic. Nope. Local independent agents who get to know you like this.
Your local Erie agent is Capital Region Insurance Agency, 717-731-1142.
Erie Insurance.
Let's go down to Archie Smith Jr. on the field. Archie, you said that, you talked about Morris in that direct snap and early on, first and second quarter, not really getting a whole lot. But then as that defense starts getting tired, those 2-3 yards go for 5, 6, 7. And that was a very effective drive by Cedar Cliff. Your thoughts?
As you can see, Cedar Cliff, these guys believe in their program. It's kind of like Cumberland Valley that believes in the wing T. They're going to continue to keep running. And that's one thing you've seen with Cedar Cliff. That play has been getting stopped all game, but they never shy away from it. They kept with it. They believe in their game plan, and they start to wear McDevitt down now that it's coming in the fourth quarter. And Jerome knowing, just like any football player, anybody knows, when it gets to the fourth quarter, it's all about hurt and it's all about want.
Yep.
That was a 9-play drive, guys. That chewed up about 4 minutes and 39 seconds, but we got a flag down here.
And that's which, if you're Cedar Cliff, you didn't need that. You don't need to give Bishop McDevitt any help in field position.
Take a look at our Advanced Hoops last play drive. That's really what it was, a big old dose of Morris.
Yes, it was.
Direct snap, and just being patient, waiting for things, and just running hard, really. The recipe, running hard.
And let's give credit to that offensive line, too. They really you started to see them move some people on that drive, so that was a good effort from them as well.
Down 3 is the Crusaders. Powell back into quarterback. Powell over the top, going to Hopkins. Hopkins didn't see the ball. I think Hopkins wanted a pass interference call, but meanwhile the ball was coming.
Well, you saw some double team action finally from that Cedar Cliff back end. And you see Jameer Reynolds, he's out there. Vasquez Reynolds is out there as the safety coming over to cover a little bit to help out on the outside. So that's what you have to do is you may have to double some guys to stop that big play and force McDevitt to more methodically get downfield as opposed to hitting you with big plays. So good call defensively.
Second and 10. Give it to Tinker. Tinker across the 45, 48, say.
And again, what you see is Cedar Cliff is now in a 2-deep zone, so they have 2 safeties in the back end to try to protect the back end. The problem is one of those safeties is now not in the run defense. So you may be able to get a little bit more sled and running the ball, but you're going to have to count on those guys up front, that front 7 to do more, and they made a decent play on that last play.
9 minutes. This game is flying by. Effectively, it's fourth quarter. 3rd and 6 for McDevitt. And who jumped off sides? Do you remember the defense jump?
It may be a neutral zone infraction. We'll see. Nope.
They're going to call that on. They're going to call a timeout. We'll take 1-2 here at West Shore Action, 20-17 more.
This month only, the heat is on at Hoffman Ford. We must sell 100 new Fords, so we're turning up the heat with our biggest savings ever. New 2019 Ford F-150 XLT, not $10,000 off, up to $13,500 off MSRP or 0% financing for 72 months and up to $7,000 off MSRP. Over 50 in stock. Don't go anywhere else because
Hoffman has it.
Hoffman Ford in Harrisburg.
Hoffman Ford, just what you're looking for. Hoffman has it.
Well, welcome back. Let's start talking about our players of the game. I know we talked a little bit. I mean, Morris has done a great job. If Cedar Cliff will go on to win it. Defensively, I know, Archie, you think a couple guys defensively tonight.
Yes, if Cedar Cliff pulls this one out, man, I'm going defensive with the kid who has 2 picks, a 1-pick-6 guy who's been huge in the Cedar Cliff pass defense.
And I know for me, I'm going with Rosado, man. Two sacks and a fumble recovery. He's balling out too, man.
He really is.
That's if they pull it out.
I'm with you guys. I mean, I feel like if Cedar Cliff would hold on, I'm going on the defensive side. I mean, not to take anything away from Morris tonight, but tonight the defense has made such a difference in Rosado. And think about it, even Cintron with 2 interceptions, 1 resulting as a touchdown, they've been as much offense as they have defense because of their play-stopping abilities. 1st and 10, 9:13 to play.
Now, if we're going Bishop McDevitt, I'm going Hopkins. Hopkins has done it regardless which quarterback is in the game. He's putting up some amazing numbers from his receiver position.
And that ball is going to be intercepted for the 3rd interception. We just mentioned his name, Cintron. Pedro Cintron has 3 tonight.
That may have changed everything for me. So
3 INTs,
now I'm with you, Archie. First I was going with going with big number 50, but then you see another interception. You kind of got to look at that. So
he just came over to the coaching staff, especially the defensive coaching staff, and he held the number 3 up. He's got 3.
He got a hat trick in picks.
He's got a hat trick in interceptions tonight. Look at Pedro Cintron. Whoa,
but again,
and he puts what about the move there?
The move was great, but you saw the defensive pressure coming from the sack. So again, that defense has held again, and uh-oh. We see quarterback is skipping a little bit. We know Powell has been struggling with injuries. Already coming into this game, and he does take a shot on this. He didn't have time to throw. He didn't have time to set up and throw, so he delivered that ball right before he got creamed.
Well, and then on another thing, it looks as the receiver didn't know the ball was gone. That happened on the first play with Hopkins. Like, he didn't even know the ball was in the air. So definitely something is going on between the connection between the quarterback and the receiver.
Look at Morris's yards, 104 yards, 2 TDs tonight.
I tell you what, that's been a quiet 100 yards, though.
It has. He works for him. I mean, he had 45 first half yards, and he has earned everything.
His carries, I would love to see how many carries he's had, because he's worked for every yard. He's had nothing busted. He hasn't busted any big runs at all. They've been pretty much 4, 3,
grinded out, 3, 4, 5. Yep.
3, maybe a 6-yarder here and there, but for the most part, it's hard sledding in that big defense.
It really is. Yeah, man.
And one thing I glad that you guys point out, and Jerome knows, to do this, you got to have the durability to be able to do this and sustain this a whole game, guys.
And we checked, it's 23 carries that he has had so far in this game. So he's carried the ball 23 times for 104 yards right now.
Well, Cedar Cliff's going to want to take a timeout. We'll take one, too. 8:16 to play. More after these messages.
This is an education that focuses on your child's unique interests. It's taking field trips and making friendships. And it's what a modern-day public K-12 education looks like. This is Commonwealth Charter Academy, and this is how schools should work. CCA is an online public school available at no cost to all Pennsylvania families. Learn how Commonwealth Charter Academy can work for your family at ccaeducate.me.
All right, welcome back to West Shore Stadium. I know, Jerome, you have some scores you're always willing to catch us up on the mid-state, because this one here is a keystone matchup.
Yes, it is.
What's going on across the state?
Milton Hershey up 32-23 on East Pennsboro. Still High is really give it to them by Middletown, 42-14. State College Chambersburg still 10-10. I'll wait till after this play and do the rest.
Play action. Rollout by the ball's fumbled. Takes a bounce, and McDevitt is going to get the ball back. Oh, crucial turnover. Julian Jordan comes up with the play. He'll have to come out since that helmet come off.
Well, guys, we're going to have a 15-yard face mask penalty. Is the reason why his helmet came off. That's going to be tacked on after this play, guys.
It's a tag on 15 after. Man, big old break for McDevitt.
Some other scores: Central Dauphin 56-7 on Carlisle. Gettysburg up 29-0 on Susquehanna. Northern up 55-13 on Greencastle. Bermudian Springs 43, Fairfield nothing. CD East 21, Altoona 0. Coatesville 27, Unionville 14. And that's the scores we currently have. I know we're still trying to find out what's happening with the Susquehanna Township score, but I do not have that score as of right now. So as soon as I get it, if I can get it, I'll get it to everyone as soon as possible.
Ball be on the 24-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for McDevitt. I mean, 20-17, and now like this is why this game's been so much fun to cover. All the years that we have covered it. And, I mean, Jerome, we talked about the years that's gone by. I mean, we've worked together for over 14 years. We've known Archie together since 2006, so we always collectively 14 years. But the years that we covered, this McDevitt and Cedar Cliff game has been everything we wanted tonight and everything it's been in the past few years.
And it really doesn't matter what the teams do outside of this.
No.
Like, you know, you can have one team that's really lighting it up, the other one's not, or they're both doing well, and it just doesn't matter. When they play, these are just two clubs that really play each other well, and I have to give it to Cedar Cliff. They found a way. They find a way every year to play well against McDevitt. And even in this game, where they're losing the yardage battle horribly, they're able to come out and still make this not just a competitive game, but you're in the fourth quarter up 20-17, and before that turnover had a chance for more points and then you turn the ball over.
Luya on the play connects to Hopkins, and Hopkins tells everybody about it's a first down. And McDevitt knocking on the door again.
And Hopkins just wide open. He takes a big hit, of course, but again, there's good time, good pocket. And we know when Aluya gets good time in the pocket, he delivers a strike downfield. So again, you see number 14 is just running open downfield, and right now Cedar Cliff has no answer for that.
Man, I tell you, they've never been without a good receiver at McDevitt.
Yeah,
years past.
Good point.
I mean, man, it's receiving. The high school for receivers, receiving you. I mean, Williams, left side.
And once again, a good, solid tackle by
Rosado.
Anthony Jones, number 60, coming up and making another play.
And Rosado in on it, too. Take a look. Jones, there's Rosado that comes in and makes the play. So it'll be 2nd and 6, ball on the 6. 6 minutes to play. This is a turnover that's setting it up. Ball bounced into Julian Jordan's hands, and there was a 15-yard plate face mask tacked onto it. Aluya in the corner, overthrows it, incomplete.
And again, Cedar Cliff has to find a way to get some pressure on the quarterback, because when they don't, that's when the problems happen. And again, you know, you got to get pressure. Now, the one thing is when you are into the red zone and the field starts to shrink, so you get a little bit more help on coverage, because there's only but so far receivers can go.
Right.
But it's still, you have to find a way to get pressure. When they've gotten pressure, they've been able to cause turnovers on the back end.
Yeah.
When they don't get pressure, big plays happen on the back end. So it's either all or nothing with that Cedar Cliff defense.
Hallelujah. Good time. Goes to the corner. And I don't really know where he's throwing that ball. I mean, he had to throw it away. He's throwing, I mean, there's great coverage on the Cedar Cliff side.
And that was interesting because there wasn't much, there wasn't much on the back end of that. I mean, there didn't seem to be any pressure in Aluya's face at all.
Well, they're going to try to tie it up.
And
they're going to bring Connor on.
And the thought is get the points. You have to play for points.
The hold, it's down, and it's wide left. Wow. And wow, Cedar Cliff gets the hold they want, and that's going to wake up the West Shore crowd.
Now, Todd, Archie, 6 minutes. You're up 20-17. If there is a time for you to mount some kind of drive, this is the time to do it. You have to mount a drive. You cannot go 3 and out here. You see it, it looks like, yes, it looks like it was blocked. I cannot get an idea of the number. Good effort on the block.
What a great effort. Got a hand on it. The kick was blocked.
And again, I cannot get a idea of who got that hand on the ball.
It might have been Lusk in the middle of it.
And that's fitting, because he's had such a good game on the defensive end for Cedar Cliff.
Hey, let's take an opportunity to thank Travis Sparks on our statistics tonight and the whole Invicta crew for making high school sports live happening. But this great inside, Travis comes up with a great inside and lets us know that when Cedar Cliff comes back out, we'll talk about it when we come back after these messages.
These past few years have been tough on all of us. You worry about the economy, your job, your savings. You may even have given up on your dream of owning your own home. But don't give up just yet. We're PHFA. We help people realize their dreams of owning their own home with features like competitive interest rates, down payment and closing cost assistance, and even free home ownership counseling. PHFA can make your dream of home ownership finally come true. Find us on the web or call us to find out how.
I'm Brian Hudson, and we're PHFA. Welcome home.
Well, 24-yard attempt was no good. It got blocked by Lusk. I just want to add this, guys. We talked about it right at the break. Williams only has 2 runs, even though he has 100 and some yards on the night, 2 runs longer than 7 yards. And I know they're going to go back to him. 6 minutes to play. And this is fourth quarter action where you're saying Keystone Division. This is division championship implications here tonight. Don't worry about their records at 2-2. They're undefeated in the division.
So again, one of the big things that Cedar Cliff has to do is they have to hang on to the ball. They can't turn the ball over. They want to salt some clock, but they want to get first down. First down, you get 4 yards. That's what you want.
And
if you can get 4 yards again,
that's
you're
right.
3rd and 2.
So
you're in a good situation.
I definitely agree with you, Jerome. If I'm Cedar Cliff right now, I'm keeping the ball in Williams' hands.
Heck, he's already ran the ball, 26 times anyway. You know, what's another 10? He'll be all right.
It's actually 2nd down and 6. Give to Williams. Williams breaks across the middle. He didn't have anything over 7 yards. Forget that, scratch that until that play right there.
And if it wasn't for that shoestring tackle,
he would have broke it and he would have been gone.
But that's what happens, though. Sometimes that's what happens. You keep commitment to the running game, and your guy is not doing well. He's getting 1 and 2 yards. He's having a hard day. He's getting a lot of hats on him. Then the third quarter rolls around, and those 3-yard games, like Archie said, turns into 5 and 6-yard gains. Then you get 1, and it cracks through because, remember, the defense is tired from hitting you, too. So he breaks through the line, is able to pick up a really good game, and who knows? He's just getting stronger right now.
Jaheim Morris. Takes the snap, Morris left side into the wall of the Crusader defense. Not much happening there on that left side.
And I think Cedar Cliff is content with just giving him the ball. You know, right now he picks up 2. That was a good effort from McDevitt. They clogged up the middle. He picked up 2 yards. But I think McDevitt knows what's coming. And what's coming is another run play. Now, don't be surprised, though, if we see that pass again.
Yeah, jump pass.
After a while, or another play out of this formation, because you're sucking up that defense more and more as you run the ball.
Look at Morris. Look at him. Putting the head down, grinding away. He picked up another 3.
So it makes it a manageable 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4.
It'll be 3rd and 4, 3:50 to play. Fourth quarter. You know, this division this year, guys, go ahead, Arch.
One thing that you guys have been putting and hitting directly is the youth on McDevitt's side. You can see they have a lot of true freshmen. You can see their middle linebacker, true freshman, Riley Robel is in the game. And these are crucial points in the game that these guys are getting. And Jerome, you know that these guys, this moment right here helps you in the years to come.
Yeah, it does. Williams, left side. All right,
got
Morris,
the first down.
Morris picks up the first down.
And again, McDevitt knows what's coming. Cedar Cliff knows what they're going to give him. And right now, Morris is winning that battle, and that offensive line is doing what you do best. Offensive linemen love to run block. Because it's just, you just go forward, the man in front of you, you beat him. And again, they're giving the ball to a running back that is getting stronger as the game goes on. And he's salting away this clock. So now McDevitt has to play against Cedar Cliff and the clock.
Man, the crowd really gave a roar out from Morris for what he's doing. Morris, not there. Claire coming up to make the tackle.
And I'm imagining, and I don't know if we can get the stat for this, but as many yardage, as many times Morris has carried the ball, I would like to see how many tackles Claire has had in that middle of that defense, because he's met him
all over the
consistently
field
in that defense.
Well, we'll take a timeout as well. We'll be right back with more after these messages.
I got the phone call that every parent dreads. Our beautiful 19-year-old daughter Peyton had died. Sudden cardiac arrest had ended her precious young life. This #1 killer of student athletes and leading cause of death on school campuses attacked our family. Many heart conditions that can lead to sudden cardiac arrest aren't found during routine physicals. That's why the Peyton Walker Foundation provides free heart screenings for teens. Help prevent sudden cardiac arrest in your family. Visit PeytonWalker.org.
2:51 here to play at West Shore Stadium. 2nd and 12. Cedar Cliff have the ball. Morris, 29 carries and 102 yards.
29 carries.
McMeans back in at quarterback now. McMeans will keep it, and that didn't fool anyone.
Yeah, and I think what you saw was Cedar Cliff tried to do something different. Now, here you go. It's 3rd down and a lot. What do you do?
Well, we got a timeout.
McDevitt uses their last timeout. What do you do if you're Cedar Cliff? Do you dare put the ball up for fear of an interception and see if you can get the first down, or do you be a little bit more conservative, take what you get, punt the ball, and try to make McDevitt go to field?
I don't know. I mean, there's a few times where I honestly feel like Jaheim Reynolds has beat the McDevitt secondary. Take a look at it over the top. I mean, worst case scenario, you give the ball up there.
I mean, see, I have a different
You're going to punt it and try to drop him deep.
Not one pass play that Cedar Cliff has done where a guy was wide open. That has never happened. Even the passes that were close to complete, somebody was right next to them. They have not been open not one time. Not saying they can't, but up to this point, and there were some balls that were thrown perfectly and some balls that weren't. But, man, McDevitt is covering that back end well.
Well, you got a 3rd and 14 here, Drum. You're trying to win the game at home. This is really like a big key in the division. This year, I favor Susquehanna Township in this division, but these two teams are going to battle out. They'll both be undefeated in the division. You're trying to win a division right here. Yeah. Let's be honest with you. You're trying to win a division right here.
And winning it on a 3rd and 14 with a pass play, you got to be careful with.
But you know what?
If it gets picked, a pick can go 6.
The penalty goes against.
And now you just got a first down.
Or
no, it's still 3rd down. Sorry about that. But it gives you a little bit more leeway. Now it's 3rd and 9 as opposed to 3rd and 14. So let's see what Cedar Cliff does here.
I mean, worst case you can throw it out of bounds. Come back with kind of a counter give.
They're going to try to play it safe and punt it away.
I don't know, Archie, what would you do there on that 3rd and 9 play? Let's take you in the offensive coordinator hat for a moment.
I'm running the exact same play, guys.
Yep.
As you can see, my defense have held McDevitt to 0 points this whole second half. So right now, I'm going to just put the game in my defensive hand right now. I'm going to take much as time if I can off the clock. McDevitt doesn't have any more timeouts.
That is true.
And I'm going to make them drive the field on my anxious and hyped up defense, guys.
And again, if the way I'm covering the back end is I'm going to try to double up the outside, and you have to get pressure. I would not necessarily rush. I'll rush 4. Put everybody else in the coverage, and that 4 has to get home. They have to get home. And anything in front of you, you tackle and keep them out. You know McDevitt's going to try to go sideline, sideline, sideline to stop the clock. They have no timeouts. If they go in the middle of the field, it has to be a big gainer, and they have to be able to get up on the ball and do something with it. So now you got to see if you can work the clock. But the first order of business, you have to get a good punt off here. And we have not seen good punts.
Well, that's one of the other factors that I was thinking as I sit here. I mean, maybe look at a fake punt. I mean, giving the ball. I mean, McDevitt has put so much pressure on the punter tonight. They've almost got to it 3 or 4 times. You have got to get this punt off.
Got to get it off. You got to get it off.
I mean, I don't know. It's dangerous punting right now. And you said it earlier.
It's dangerous anyway. Either way,
but you said it in high school game. We have seen it this year. Punting has been. It's not been stellar, but
it's been rough.
He just needs to get a good punt off.
Oh, and that's not what happened. And there we go, another bad punt. And so now,
I'm telling you, if I'm going to do that, I'm going to go ahead and throw it down the field.
Because that probably would have been a punt.
That is a punt, even if it's picked. All right, Doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. McDevitt has the ball back. 1st and 10 with 1:49. I guess right now we need to see, is Powell going to be the quarterback? They've been switching back and forth with Oluya and Powell. Let's see if it's Powell this time. The ball will be at the 49.
Powell was gimping a little bit when he left the field last time. So we'll see if he comes back in, and it looks like it will be Powell. Powell is not 100%. He is gimping around right now for the quarterback position. And you see all those 3 big receivers for Bishop McDevitt. They're all on one side.
McDevitt has combined quarterbacks tonight, 18 for 25 with 286, 2 TDs, and 3 INTs. Going over the top, and that's dangerous. He floated that ball up. Arch, did you see that ball floating up? Tinker comes down with it. Woo!
As you can see, guys, that little wheel route that they're trying to hit the guy to get him to run in space, but Cedar Cliff is playing back and they're just letting them read. So right now, McDevitt is going to have to complete some passes, middle of the field and down the field, guys.
Pedro makes a good play.
2nd 13. Powell stands back up, gets it off. It's complete.
And the one thing I do like is McDevitt is playing, or Cedar Cliff is playing coverage. So they're going to make Powell pick them apart. They have a lot of guys dropping into coverage. They're rushing 3 and 4, and they're trying to keep everything in front.
Easterly on the catch the last time, the sophomore.
And the clock is running. And that was a good tackle, too, keeping the ball carrier
3rd
inside.
and 6. Powell, want to roll his left, looking downfield, fires. It's going to be almost picked off.
That could have ended the game right there for Cedar Cliff.
Elijah Akita almost came up with it. Let's take a look at it again.
Good protection right until the end. Powell has to slide and do the one thing he shouldn't do, is throw the ball across his body across field.
Off that back foot.
Guys, standing down on this field, it is intense. I mean, I can barely hear you guys down here. Can't you love and don't you love Friday night high school football in Pennsylvania right now, guys?
No doubt.
All I got to say is, guys, this is what we came to do. Right? this is what this game right here still didn't disappoint. All these years, 2019, still a really good game.
Powell goes down, and that's going to drop him for a loss.
That's it.
And there's not much they can do, because that's going to be it.
Wow.
It's just unbelievable. Powell dropped back and slipped. His feet went out from under him, and that's really going to how it's ending. Cedar Cliff comes out. All they got to do is kneel on the ball to get this big keystone matchup tonight.
Can we talk about the grit that this Cedar Cliff team put together here? This was not if they can pull this out, this was not a pretty win. This was not a win that you chalk up as an amazing situation. You basically put in grit and came out here.
You did.
And won this game.
They did. They did.
You know, and they've done this before.
Yes.
They've done this before. They've been able to out-grit McDevitt other times too, and we've been fortunate enough to see it and call those games, man. So, you know, Cedar Cliff got something going when it comes to this game. They have something against McDevitt here. And this is becoming a consistent thing here with Cedar Cliff being able to bang with McDevitt like this.
The last 3 wins go to Cedar Cliff. This one tonight, Cedar Cliff comes back to win, down 17-7.5. They come away with the win here on the West Shore Stadium. 20-17, we had a great one. We'll be back with our player of the game in our matchup. 20-17. We'll be right back after these messages.
Groff Tractor is your full-line equipment dealer representing Case Construction and many other leading brands, serving the total sales, rentals, parts, and service needs of its customers. Groff Tractor paves the way for your project from start to finish. With 6 locations, Groff Tractor is always nearby your equipment needs. Groff Tractor also offers scheduled maintenance along with 24/7 emergency service. Groff Tractor is your #1 source for everything under construction.
These past few years have been tough on all of us. You worry about the economy, your job, your savings. You may even have given up on your dream of owning your own home. But don't give up just yet. We're PHFA. We help people realize their dreams of owning their own home with features like competitive interest rates, down payment and closing cost assistance, and even free home ownership counseling. PHFA can make your dream of home ownership finally come true. Find us on the web or call us to find out how.
I'm Brian Hudson, and we're PHFA. Welcome home.
This month only, the heat is on at Hoffman Ford. We must sell 100 new Fords, so we're turning up the heat with our biggest savings ever. New 2019 Ford F-150 XLT, not $10,000 off, up to $13,500 off MSRP or 0% financing for 72 months and up to $7,000 off MSRP. Over 50 in stock. Don't go anywhere else because
Hoffman has it.
Hoffman Ford in Harrisburg.
Hoffman Ford, just what you're looking for. Hoffman has it.
You just went. Here's the deal. Road trips can get pricey. At rest stops alone, there's lunch, snacks, gas. So instead, I go to Giant and get bonus buy savings on everything we need
to stay on the road.
I forgot my retainer.
If we ever leave.
Everything you need at prices you'll love. Only at Giant.
Our brand boneless, skinless chicken breasts. This week, $1.69 per pound.
Well, welcome back to our Giant post-game report. We want to take an opportunity. 20-17 Cedar Cliff won, and let's look at our Pizza Hut play of the game that really kind of, as we thought, just changed things here tonight. And it was right here, Powell back to pass. And this was in the very beginning. Pedro Citron takes it back from 16 out to score a touchdown, and that put Cliff up 7-0. They floated a screen pass, and he caught it perfectly, took it to the end zone, and made it look pretty easy on that one.
Pedro have a good game, though?
Pedro had a great game tonight. 3 interceptions, the hat trick. And then our Hoffman Ford player of the game, Jaheim Morris, over 102 yards, 29 carries, 2 TDs. And when they needed it in the fourth quarter, he was the one picking up the big yards. But you'll see right here, breaking tackles, making plays, running hard, Jaheim Morris.
Really good game by him. Gutsy game, man. He
just ran
He got
so
pounded
hard
today and just ran hard and kept. He never seemed to get tired or hurt at all. He just kept going.
There's one thing we say, he gonna sleep good tonight.
He will sleep good tonight. And guys, our next broadcast coming Saturday, not Friday night. Check it, everyone. Saturday, September the 28th, Central Dauphin at Harrisburg, 1 p.m. on ABC 27. And that's going to do it for all of us. On behalf of Invicta and all the guys that come here and do all that work of setting up, and Travis Sparks, our stats guy, Archie and Jerome, myself, Todd McCall, and everybody that makes high school sports live possible. We thank you all. Cedar Cliff 20, Bishop McDevitt 17. We'll see you next Saturday, Harrisburg CD. Take care, everybody.